This week's episode of the Co-optional Podcast is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional. Create your own professional-looking website with no prior knowledge required at squarespace.com/cooptional. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-optional Podcast on the 19th of April 2016.
I just farted.
Hello.
It was loud and in this office, and now it's gonna stink. Woo!
I've been like farting and burping all morning, and I don't know what's happened, but maybe it happened to both of us, and we actually have aliens breathing inside of our bodies.
If aliens in your body make you fart, then I demand that someone recut the first Alien movie. So instead of things bursting out of them, it's just like them like, ooh.
Thank you very much for watching the Co-optional Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great show. Goodbye.
Ooh, Ripley, are you a little gassy? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I ate. Oh no, there's an alien crawling out of my butt.
A lot of people always talk about Taco Bell being like, that's gonna mess you up. Never does.
Never does.
Taco Bell's
Never
fine
does.
with me.
No, it does mess you up. McDonald's.
Oh my God, that's what I had yesterday. I went and got a
Dang,
hamburger
dude.
and an ice cream cone
Oh,
for lunch. That's my lunch. I got a hamburger and ice cream cone, guys. I'm living the dream. Not a fan.
when you're an adult, you can do what you want.
Well,
Not a
Dodger,
fancy
volume up,
not a-
please, apparently. Sound check. It
Not
doesn't
a
matter,
fancy
it seems.
I got a
Yep.
normal 99-cent flat as a like one of those flat cheap ass hamburgers, no cheese, with the onions that aren't even real onions. That little flat thing and an ice cream cone. That's my
Those-
lunch. I felt good about it. I felt
Those
real good
are
about that.
semi-real
Nice.
onions. They're like bagged onions.
Yeah, they're real
Huh.
onions that have just, had their soul taken from them.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
fine.
have
If
you ever had the
knows.
McDonald's apples?
No, what? They have apples?
one time-
No, I would never
Oh,
trust
like the little
McDonald's
bag
apples.
apples?
Yeah, the bagged apples.
That doesn't make sense.
So
No, but I've watched other people eat them.
2 years ago, for my stream, I was streaming with my friend League of Legends, and everyone's like, "Go get a Happy Meal."
Hang
Which
on.
crap?
Rewind. I was streaming
Did
with
you
my
just call
friend League of Legends.
your friend?
Well, technically, it's a
I
very
was streaming my old
interesting
friend, League of
relationship.
Legends.
I was streaming with my
My
old
old-
friend, League of Legends.
I mean, technically, it's true.
It's like when a drunk talks about alcohol. My old friend Jack Daniels.
So, this is besides the point. Twitch chat voted on what I was going to go eat. So they said, go get a Happy Meal. I was like, okay. So I got the apples. Those are not apples. I am convinced that they are potatoes injected with apple flavoring.
What?
They taste like
That is
potatoes.
the craziest thing I've ever heard you say.
I'm telling you. Go get
You sound a
the...
lot of crazy.
All right, here's the thing. It sounds crazy. Go get the apples at McDonald's, and you will agree with me in an instant.
Here's the thing. Don't go get the apples at McDonald's.
Don't. It's a trap.
Don't go to McDonald's. Here.
No, it's shit.
Oh, did you hear what they're trying to do? Are you ready for this? McDonald's is opening a store in, I think, Minneapolis, which is going to be a test ground for the future McDonald's. What they want to do is they want to have it be a chill out restaurant. So they're removing everything and replacing it with couches. There's an order area where you punch in what your order is, and then they bring it to you as unlimited French fries. And all the areas have games that you can play, like different games that you can play there. So they're literally make it like the chill out zone rather than like, come eat your dinner here. It's like, hey, yo, it's
McDonald's, we're doing everything to distract you from the food.
Yes, yes. It's basically like a hipster joint now. They're doing it. They're testing it out in Minneapolis.
That's weird.
Right?
pretty weird.
don't. Yeah, I never understood how McDonald's even survived in the United States. You guys have some excellent fast food across the board. Like, even the chains are good. And yet McDonald's is still popular despite serving the worst food of all of them. How?
There's
Why?
Dude, I
Grow
swear
up
to
on
God,
McDonald's,
there's some
man.
sort of addictive quality to
I've
the
mentioned
Well, it's
this
salt, isn't it?
numerous times. I've mentioned this numerous times here on other podcasts. I used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school. I worked there for a year. It was a long year. But what I learned is that the French fries come to the store pre-coated with sugar, just so you're all aware. And then they deep fry them with the sugar on it, and they put salt on it. That's why kids love their French fries so much, because they're sugar-coated. So there you go.
We have low standards.
We have very low
We
standards.
also just have low standards. Yeah.
There is that.
When I had McDonald's in Ukraine, best McDonald's I've ever had.
When
Why
I
would
was
you
in
have-
Germany,
Our
the
standards
line
are
for the
just
McDonald's was the biggest line of any of the places to eat in Germany at Gamescom. It was the biggest line. There were people. It was out the door.
That and currywurst. Big
Currywurst, yes. I've had currywurst on a train. It was a bad idea. I shouldn't do that again.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. Fed currywurst on the
Which one's
train.
Currywurst
Fed
on the
currywurst
plane.
in the rain.
Indeed. Currywurst in a lot of fucking pain, as it turns out. Not a good idea.
Yeah, but mustard though.
Okay, wait, guys. I'm pitching a video right now. Are you ready? We got to go to Minneapolis.
Yes.
We have to get little bags of apples.
Yes.
We have to eat them
While chilling on the couch.
while chilling on the couches and discussing our Rotten Tomato scores bets.
All right.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
Well, that
I like
sure
it.
sounds like quality content for go90.com, right?
I'll
Doesn't
film
it?
it.
Yeah, Crendor
Okay.
film it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll sit there eating apple slices on a couch. Actually, Dodger, can you?
They
feed
taste like potatoes, dude.
Well, oh my God, it'll be like a braid circle, but we'll feed apples. We'll all feed apples to the person to our right, and
Yeah.
discuss our Rotten Tomato scores for World of Warcraft. And then at the end, Crendor will ask the also important question: were they potatoes? And then we
Someone look, internet. Can someone please make like just a house beat or something? But the drop begins with "They taste like potatoes, dude," and then it goes blah, 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 blah. Like I just want give me a fat beat that starts with "They taste like potatoes, dude."
The thing is, if this were any other restaurant, I wouldn't question it. I'd be like, you know what? They're probably just mediocre apples. But the fact that it's McDonald's, I'm convinced they are potatoes injected with like apple fluid.
Yeah, because
tastes
there's
like
no
potato.
reason to ever trust McDonald's under any
Yeah.
circumstances. You know, you never give McDonald's the benefit of the doubt because they don't deserve it. They haven't earned that right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jesse's losing his.
We need to discuss Dodgers paw mugs.
We do.
shit. Don't though.
You said they're identical.
Yep, you did. You said they're identical and you lied.
Yeah.
They're not- all right, show people your
Show-
identical mugs. She bragged about her identical mugs.
These are identical.
They're the same shape. They're part of the same set. They're just colored differently.
You said they're identical.
Yeah,
You lied.
you're a liar.
Yeah.
You lied.
This is-
You were dishonest to us.
I'm going to go ahead and say they are identical for the race issue because we're all identical in that aspect.
I guess that's true, but I'm gonna say
Just like these fucking mugs.
I'm gonna ignore what Crendor said and say that those mugs you wasted your money because you bought two of the exact same mug. They're so identical. You're right. They're so identical. You've wasted your time.
My one of the lovely members of my community, Mackenzie, sent me both of these mugs.
All right, here's the deal,
So-
Is a liar.
Mackenzie, let's have a Mackenzie. If I can talk to you for a moment, you wasted your money. You know what she's gonna do with those? You know what she's gonna do with those? Really drink coffee
Drink
once. Out of
Beverly's out of them. Literally the purpose of a mug.
drink one beverage, and then she has to cycle through all 9,000 of her other mugs.
Yep.
By the time she gets back to that one, it'll be the year 2063. She'll be dead. She'll have died of hair color poisoning, and it'll be her
That is
brain
true.
will have been
I mean,
bleached.
They are
blue,
highly
and it'll be
carcinogenic.
It's going to be breaking news in
Guys.
like 10 years. It'll be like the big scandals of the food industry, like hair color. Is it killing everyone?
Well, I mean, if you track her through a number of years on the podcast, what you'll notice is that every time she changes her hair color, the color from her face is slightly drained. So basically, every time it happens, she's losing vital minerals, vitamins, things you need to live, you know?
Yeah.
Only in her face.
Only in the face. Only in the face, yeah.
Only in my face.
Yeah.
Only in her face.
Everything else is fine,
The
but
back
the
of
face
her
is
head,
vital, however.
Flawless. The back of her head is gorgeous.
No problem.
Yes, you have no
Also,
clue.
one of the hottest places on your body.
Back of the head? Huh. Well, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Welcome to the Corruptional Podcast.
That's
You're
right.
occasionally talking about video games, but not right
Here's
now.
4chan.
I remember the first podcast I was on like 3 or 4 years ago. You had green aqua hair, and I
remember
had
that.
like no hair.
Jeez, who were we? Fuck.
You are a genuine idiot.
But I have a standing desk, and I won't get blood clots.
You have a standing desk. You figured it out.
And it alternates up and down.
Welcome to the Corruptional Podcast, everybody. Let's talk about games.
I mean, I'm just not planning on trying today. I don't know about the rest of you, but yeah, we're sponsored by squarespace.com/cooptional if anyone cares.
Woo! Squarespace!
Squarespace.
Yeah.
Guess what?
If you were gonna make a remix of Crendor, I would host it on a Squarespace website, because then you can. It's better than all those other sites that you didn't make, because in Squarespace you can make sites simple and easy. 1, 2, 3. They'll even help you make it. And here's the best part: it's super cheap. And what's good about cheap is that you don't want to spend a lot of money on a crappy Crendor remix. So save your time and energy and use Squarespace.
I don't even get paid for this Squarespace promotion, but use it, I guess.
Squarespace. Crendor doesn't use it.
Crendor will
Raise the roof. All right.
Dude.
Little video games. Just a little video games. Can we have a little video games?
Yes.
It's
Cool.
got a free chest in Clash Royale.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Well, you
By
get.
the way,
That game.
that game's so
Fuck
dumb.
Ha
That game's so dumb. That game's so
Fuck it,
dumb.
fuck it.
Dude,
I figured out a new. Well, I was talking with Sam, and new strats are afoot that have been helping me out. But like, Jesus Christ, that game.
That's that game.
game is the best and worst game at the same
Delete
time.
it.
Fucking
Delete
awesome
it.
game.
You and G-Mart have been going so ham
We
for
have.
third place.
Fight!
I feel like
Fight, peasants, fight!
no. See, here's the thing. I think eventually they're gonna realize that they need to be overthrowing y'alls. and
Good
not-
luck.
No, yesterday, as we were doing all this, we realized, like, you know what? We just need to take down Sam. Sam
Yeah.
sitting in second place.
Sam won't be
He's
able to
just
stand it if you do that. You
Yeah.
know it's going to drive him nuts.
Oh, yeah, that's why we want to do it. So I want to pass him up. He's that person who's like, you know what? I won't reach TV, but I'm the best of all the peasant people. So once we pass him up, we're like, oh, Sam, looks like you're below me now. He'll just be like, we were saying it on stream, he's going to like sit there just staring at the screen for like 3 hours and his eyes will start to bleed. And Dodge will just walk up and be like, is everything okay? And he'll just be like, my phone. And this like orchestra music
It's
starts
on
playing in the
fire.
background. It's like, what?
Phone bursts into flames.
Sam's the person who'll play that game like 50 hours straight just to get past us again.
Oh,
He'll end up in a
absolutely.
losing streak. You know he will,
Yeah.
and he'll tilt like a motherfucker. There's
I
no
hope
doubt
so.
about it.
You mean like G-Mart? Oh my
Oh,
god.
yes.
When G-Mart fell like 500 in one
Yeah.
night.
It
and
was
then just
wonderful.
was-
said and was like, fuck.
It was the best because there's a clan like feed where you could post your replays and donation requests. And it's just like Gmart just losing his shit. It's like, I hate this fucking game. And like 4 hours later, it's like, I'm still playing this fucking game.
Fuck that
I
game.
dropped
Fuck
from
that
like
game.
1,200 to 900, and then I pulled myself together and rose back to like 1,500.
That feels good though. Like you can drop
Yeah.
really fast and then regain it really fast.
I get to like almost 1300 and then I fall really hard again. And I'm like, fuck. And I try to change up my strategy. And then I like either do better again or I fall even more. And then I panic. It's like, I don't know what to do.
I'm trying to break the 3K Legendary Arena barrier at the moment. I've been in the Legendary Arena twice now, both against crazy Asian motherfuckers, and it gets really fucking difficult as it turns out. I think I'm about 2.9K at the moment, and I'm sort of hovering around there, doing all right.
You could have
So
played in that tournament.
I actually could have. Like most of the people in that tournament had less trophies than I do, but that tournament,
tournament
man.
got so many viewers.
It
I
did.
think
It
that a
did.
lot of people were shocked how many people wanted to
I was
watch.
joking. I'm like, that could have been on ESPN2 and gotten more views than Heroes.
Views
of
the
the
Heroes of the Storm wouldn't take much. Yeah, I mean that doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, the game's making, what, $150 million a month? It's stupid popular. Everyone's playing it.
Really?
Yeah, it's making a stupid
Nice.
amount of money. It's going to be, like, Supercell's, like, $4th billion game or something. Like, it's doing really well. I mean, it's a fun game to jump in and jump out of. It's great. I love it. Still love
The
it.
fact that the matches are like 3 minutes or less
Is ideal.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because if it fucks up, it's like, all right, fine, whatever. I wasted 3 minutes on this instead of like 20 fucking minutes in Hearthstone or whatever.
But at the same time, you can tilt people so hard in those 3 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Like some guy was
True.
like, "Good luck," and I'm like, "Oh, good luck," and then he started winning, and then he started spamming "Good luck," and I was like,
Emotes,
"Oh my
yeah.
god,
I
I hate
that shit. I was ranting so hard about that last night. I was like, you know what I fucking hate? When people say good luck when they're about to beat me. And I just want them to
cry
fucking
face, crying
die.
king face, over and
Oh my
over again.
God.
Yeah,
That game needs a
Why
squelch
Why
option.
does it have to be so PM? Why can't it just be good luck at the beginning, good game at the end, and you just cut the bullshit unless you do something funny and you do like a laughing face?
I like took my phone and I was like, "Ugh," and I like almost snapped it in half. I was like, "Ugh."
So the Asian players have a different BM meta, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that, but they do. You're gonna run into a completely different bad mana meta when you start running into the Asian players. Like they deliberately use the wrong phrases for the situation, and they do it over and over again, and it's infuriating. It's like you just be rude in a regular way. Like be rude in a way that's comprehensible.
Are you sure that it's not because they don't know what the phrases say?
I mean, it's entirely possible, but I'm going to assume that their phrases are in, Chinese, or whatever on their screen, not English.
That would make more sense, considering the game came out for them first.
It
would
did,
make
yes.
sense that it didn't come out in English.
Yes. But yes, they have a completely different BM meta. It's scary. But they tilt pretty hard. Like they don't expect the other strats. Like they go for the whole I'm gonna build shit at the back and be a fucking asshole with my spawner buildings, and every one of them runs elixir potion gatherer.
Dude, the like multiple hut build is so bullshit.
You've got to run like Rocket. The nice thing about running Rocket is you can get like 11 or 12 mana's worth of buildings with a 6 mana Rocket. And you can hit their tower as well because they probably stuffed it next to it, so you get a huge advantage if you're able to do that.
You were right. The second that I put a Rocket in my lineup, it's so nice because if they have 2 huts at the same time, I can get rid of them instantly, and I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck you.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, this is probably the best RTS game that's come out.
That's really sad and true. And the weird thing is that like Clash Royale is based on like I think it was old Warcraft 3 mod. And obviously there's a bunch of StarCraft mods that are kind of like it, like Nexus Wars. Basically spawn spawn a unit and it walks up the path and it attacks here and all that shit. But yeah, it has a decent amount of strategy. I watched the tournament. It was fun. It was amusing watching the amount of people in the Twitch chat. I was like, oh, this casual shit is ruining fucking esports. It's the same fucking people I see hanging around in Hearthstone chats 24/7. It's like, apparently your children's card game is good enough esport, but this one isn't. All right.
You're contributing to the viewer count.
Exactly, you're just upping the viewer count, jackasses. It had a nice little stage. You see that fucking stage with the projection shit and like the machinery in the background? That was pretty legit.
Confetti guy?
Yeah.
The confetti fell on that
the
guy.
confetti guy. Can I start marketing myself that way? Hello, everybody. I am a YouTuber / streamer, also confetti guy.
Yeah. There were too many mortar players. I think it was DJ Wheat was posting kind of live chat on his Facebook, and he is salty as fuck against anyone that runs mortar because he thinks they're cheesy bastards. So he's like, "Oh, favorite unit mortar? Yep, he looked exactly how I would have expected him to." It's like,
I don't have that unit yet.
Mortar.
What is it?
It's a static emplacement. You put it down and like it takes about 5 seconds to charge, and then it starts firing mortar shells across like half the fucking map.
Oh damn!
It's actually not that dangerous at all. Like I've not run into problems with it because the DPS isn't very high and it's pretty easy to kill. But some people apparently get really salty about it because they just build a wall of shit and the mortar's behind it. It's like I can't get to this fucking thing.
I really want to add freeze in with my stuff, but I don't know what to replace.
Freeze is
That's always my big problem. Is I'm like, oh, but this unit is so good for this, and this.
Yeah, that's the problem with the 8-card deck. It's really hard to figure out what to replace. But freeze is like one of the best cards.
Hog Rider is annoying as shit.
Oh my god, yes, it is. I was trying to decide between rage and freeze, And, like, you know, I like Rage because it's a bit more proactive. If you nail your Rage down with the right number of units, you can just demolish an area.
Does Rage add speed or damage?
It adds attack speed and speed.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So you get, like, 35% extra attack speed. It's pretty awesome. And Freeze, obviously, is great because it locks down a lot of things. I hate it. But you can play around it. Because most people drop it kind of on the tower, so you place your shit slightly behind the tower out of range of the freeze, and it's all good.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Jesse hasn't progressed in a long time.
Jesse hasn't been playing.
I deleted it from my phone. I have no interest in the game.
Yeah.
The other day, I was telling him that I had overthrown him, and he was like, "Oh, that's nice. I haven't played in months." So I was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. He quit a few weeks ago. He hasn't come back, so.
Why not?
Because I have no desire to play that game.
You're bad at it.
No, I was doing great, man. I was having a good old time. It's just not the game I want. I realized that if I want to get really, really good, I either have to put in a ton of time or I have to spend money. Neither of those I want to do. So I was like, delete. I moved on. I feel great about it. So I'm good.
So what? Oh my god, that's like this guy we played in League of Legends last night. Guarantees like Eastern European Russian or something, and he was like playing Annie mid, and he's like, "This is dumb." And then he like ran my lane in top lane and just died. And he's like, "You idiot!" And I'm like, "Wait, me?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I had no mana." And then later he died again. He's like, "So wart." He typed in all caps, "So wart." That's my new favorite thing in the entire world.
That should be a thing.
So wart though.
Yeah,
If anyone's a wart, it's you.
It's like, so what?
So now whenever anyone's like, "You didn't do this thing," I'm like, "So wart, dude." I don't care.
Oh, man.
So wart.
So
I did start playing another stupid phone game, just because I actually got an email from PAX developers, like, "Come see our game," and it's called Shop Heroes. I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. And then I was like, oh, it's a phone game, okay. Oh, and it's already out, so I'm not going to waste my time seeing it at PAX, because it already it's right there. But I downloaded it, and I think it was originally on Congregate. And it's sort of, what if Racketeer had all of the good things taken out of it and turned into a phone game? And that's basically Shop Heroes. But, you know, what's weird about it is that you can actually play it for more than 2 minutes without it, like, saying you can't play anything now because you got to wait for this to finish and shit. So it really is a case of you make weapons in an RPG shop and the heroes come in and buy them and you can send them into dungeons to get more materials and all that kind of thing, which is in itself fine. What gets me about it is they keep coming into the shop to buy the same fucking thing and they never equip it. It's like, why do you keep buying these knives? Like, you come in and you buy a knife every time and you're not using it. I don't know why you even bought it in the first place.
So your big problem with this game is that logically it makes no sense.
It makes
to you.
no logical sense at all. Like,
okay.
you can equip, you can actually like equip your heroes so they go down into the dungeon and do better. But the thing is that they come in and buy stuff of their own accord as well, but they never use any of it. So I'm like, why, if they'll come in and buy a better weapon and literally not use it, and you go to their equipment screen, they still have their old weapon. It's like, well, why the fuck did you buy this? Like, what? It's just the economy makes, like, no fucking sense at all.
And you can't decide to, like, put the weapon that they bought on them?
No, that's the weird thing, because they don't have that weapon in their inventory after they've bought it. Like, it literally is just a transaction solely to give you gold. Which is like, well, this economy, like, there's no working economy here at all. Whereas, like, if I recall correctly, in Racketeer, if someone came in and bought a fucking item, they'd fucking have it, and they'd use it. Because, of course, that makes sense. So you have to build an extra item to equip on them manually, which you have to give them for free for some reason, despite the fact they already own that item. I
mean, to be fair, in Racketeer, the same dude would come in, like, every day and be like, "My wife really likes apples. Do you have an apple for sale?"
Yeah, but you eat apples. You don't eat fucking walking sticks
I
or
know,
swords.
Saying,
Well, you
like,
can walk with
the
a
same dude comes in and buys an apple for his wife every day. Like, that's some fucking dedication.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a bit weird. Like, I don't hate it. It's a good, like, little time waster. And it's got some fun little RPG tropes in it, and it's actually like quite nice in terms of the its graphical fidelity is nice. You know, it's good art design and all that kind of thing. And you build your shop up, and you can get different carpets that give you more energy and all sorts of weird shit. But I want that game to be more like Racketeer, something good, you know, something that's designed well. Because I love that fucking theme, I really do. It's just nobody seems to execute it all that well. You remember Holy Potatoes Weapon Shop?
Mm-hmm.
That game was like, that was just mostly a clicker. I want something skillful. I want like mini games maybe to make the item. I think I want to just play Puzzle Forge 2 again, like that one about making fucking RPG items, and it was like a kind of Tetris-y sort of game. I want to do that again. So, I mean, you know, it's okay for wasting a little bit of time. It's a free-to-play game, whatever, you know, it's decent enough to do when you've got nothing better to do, but I want a game that's much, much better with that theme.
Yeah.
I think a board game would work pretty well with that. I mean, fuck, you can get a board game about making sushi. You can get a board game about making fucking magic items.
Like a weapon shop?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I think that would be a great game. There's got to be one. Surely, someone's made that,
I have to
right?
say,
You should make it.
Yeah.
TB.
I've got other shit to do. I don't do
This
that.
is your time.
I don't have talent. What the fuck? Oh, please, stop reacting like, oh, self-deprecation? This is new for you. It's like, no, it isn't. It's literally all my humor is based on, damn it.
Self-deprecation makes me feel better about
It should,
myself.
you know, it's
Look,
good. It's
I
good.
just know that deep down, you would love to like throw a garbage board game out there.
I would love to, yeah.
Like just throw it out into the world.
Why
and
would you
see.
assume that he would? No. A garbage
bad
board
one.
game? TB
Oh
would
my
never
God.
do that.
We need to make a garbage
Oh, yeah,
man
terrible
board
one.
game.
No,
Garbage man.
How would that work?
I
All
love
right.
this idea where you go around collecting garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. Oh my God! You put it in your little piece as a little garbage can.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh my God! You're so smart, Crendor. What is happening?
How are we not hired in Hollywood somewhere? I don't get
Hollywood.
I don't get it. I don't
it.
get it.
Anywhere.
Hollywood, Florida, where board games.
Yeah.
Board games.
I was gonna say Hollywood. where
Hollywood.
they-
Yes,
where-
that's where I go for board gaming. Yeah. Absolutely, no doubt.
board game
Yes.
capital of
Got
these
it.
United States.
Mhm.
So apparently there's another weapon shop game called Weapon Shop d'Omas, which is on 3DS.
Tio?
Not Dio, no.
I was
shall
gonna
not
make a
be riding the
JoJo's
tiger.
reference, but your reference was way better, Jesse.
Thank you. What is this called?
It's Weapon Shop d'Omas. Apparently it's like rhythm based. It's
I don't know how to spell Diomas, but I typed in
Diomas.
Diomas. Now I have
man, this
Episcopal
weapon is off the
Diocese
hook.
of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I found Irony McCory Diomas Vivo.
None of
Tio
these are
Massimo.
true. Yeah, just look for Weapon Shop in 3DS. It's by Level 5, who make a bunch of like weird small Japanese games and also made things like
They
Dark
make,
Cloud.
Leighton, don't they?
Oh my God.
I think they were involved in that. Yeah, Leighton Brothers. They made Inazuma 11, Fantasy Life, which that was a pretty decent game about working mundane jobs in a fantasy world. That was all right.
Wasn't Bravely Default a level 5 game?
No, I don't think so.
Guys, look in the Skype chat. I found Diomas the song. It's great.
Oh, Level 5 made Ni no Kuni. I mean, yeah, that's legit.
I love their
That's
pitch.
what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Their pitch for this is so good. If you created a weapon, wouldn't you want to know what happened to it? You'll be keeping a watchful eye out so that the weapons you've put so much love into will come back to you safely. It's the pitch
This
for
song
Weapon
is
Shop.
great.
It's a great song. It's something you'd hear just like,
In a telenovela.
yeah, telenovela. That's the word.
I don't even know what they are doing right now, but I hope
Listening
you'll
to the
stop.
Diomas song.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't worry. TB,
All right.
if you don't have time to listen to it now, which I understand.
Okay,
'cause
I'm
you're,
gonna chill.
you're running a show,
I'm gonna relax.
but during the break, you should probably play this song.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
For
Gotta
everybody.
play it.
This is a great video. This is, yeah.
Yeah.
Diomas, killing it.
Diomas.
3DS.
I don't even
Diomas.
remember what the original Diomas was. This has surpassed it.
I was listening
The
to
original Dio Mass was a game that TB was like.
Wait, no, so you guys
Weapon-
talking about something
yeah.
different?
Weapon DMS.
I was just watching the original. How come I'm on topic? I was watching the video for the Weapon Shop Dio Mass. And here's the best part. The song in it is like an old Wild Western song. So I thought you two were like talking about the same thing.
No, apparently they didn't give a fuck.
I was totally. I was like,
No, because Crendor was like, I found the song for it. And so
Crendor was lying his ass off, basically.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm not
thinking
lying.
it was
It's
an actual
DMS.
song for the game, and then it wound up
Not
being an
the
amazing
same
novella song.
thing.
Yeah. Look in the Skype chat. DMS by
Mari.
Irini McCory.
Not the same thing at all. If you do want to, however, play a decent mobile game, I did find one that is not some free-to-play garbage, and it's called Warbits. And Warbits, yes. It's actually on sale at the moment for like $3. And it's basically Advance Wars, for the most part, but with a really weird, sarcastic, nerdy internet sense of humor. And
Okay.
the whole first level is a giant argument as to whether or not you should have ketchup on scrambled eggs. And that's what the initial battle is about.
Obviously, should never do.
Well, that means you're part of the
dude?
you're part of the Red Bears then. You're the part of the Red Bear team.
What about hot sauce? What
Wait.
can is that?
The Blue Wolves team says you should have ketchup on your eggs, and you fight them over this fact.
What
wouldn't
about hot sauce?
Why wouldn't the red team be the ketchup team?
I don't know. Apparently, they were not the ketchup team.
I think hot sauce would ally with the ketchup team.
No. That we have that's no. You put ketchup on your hash browns, not on your eggs. That's weird.
I don't think you
Hot
put sauce on
Agreed.
either of them, honestly.
Agreed.
Hot sauce and eggs, though, is the dopeness. I formed my new clan, the Green Jaguars, and don't mess with us because we're tough.
Dem Jaguars.
Wait, so how is this game played?
It's very much like Advance Wars, so it's kind of grid-based tactics. So you got various kinds of units, you move them around, you shoot at the other dudes. But for some reason, it has this weird storyline where they're just... I think that the whole idea is that Galactic War has been brought to an end, and you have to settle all your differences in this simulation now because people keep murdering planets. So they want to stop that.
Oh.
So they have wars over the most mundane fucking shit, like breakfast, whether or not berries are actually fruit, and all sorts of things like that. And it's a really, really nice art style. It's a lot of fun. It's got a cool sense of humor. It's not a fucking free-to-play game, so that's neat. And it's just kind of like Advance Wars, just brought a little bit up to date with some nice advanced graphics. So, if you want to check that out, it's not too bad.
I love how you are just... Dodger is in. She's like, oh, berries. Why, now I'm sold.
Indeed.
I mean, I don't
purchased
understand.
it.
Like, obviously, berries are fruit.
Obviously.
Apparently, there are forms of berries that are not technically fruit.
No, untrue.
Snozberries
Well,
taste like snozberries. But
We
it
know
doesn't-
whose side you side on then.
She's in the Red Bears now.
Yeah.
I understand.
Am I still the red bears?
You're still in the that's still
What
the
about-
Red
what about
Bears
the
point of
purple
view.
monkeys?
I don't
Oh,
believe
it's so
they're a faction.
cute.
Yeah,
That's the silver monkey.
it does have the aesthetic is really kind of adorable and
Purple parrots.
it's just
Yeah, that's
a
the
good
one.
little tactics game, it's rare to find that on mobile these days because everything's a fucking free to play grind fest. So
Dude, what if
Well,
Legends of the
now
Hidden
on it.
Temple was like a hardcore sport?
Legends of the
I'd bring-
what?
I'd bring it back. I'd bring it back so hard. I want that to be a YouTube show where I force YouTubers to go through like daggers and shit. If they live, they're exalted and we praise them. If they die, their channel gets given to a 4-year-old and they get
I mean, most of us probably wouldn't notice the difference. I'm going to be honest, but
watch
Heyo!
there are definitely a few YouTubers that I would not mind watching in a knife fight. Let me put it that way.
An old Roman
Guys.
gladiator.
If you could knife fight any YouTuber, who would it be?
Someone who's weak and helpless,
With
probably.
the chance to take over their channel and reform it in your image.
Mm.
Evan HD. I'd fight that kid.
I mean,
Evan Tube HD. I'm calling you out. I would knife fight that kid.
is the one that's like in a wheelchair that wouldn't be good at knife fighting? Because I'd probably go after that guy.
Wait, a wheelchair doesn't. His hands can still.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
but he doesn't have the reach. Like, he can't lurch forward. He'd just collapse.
TV
You're like,
would
Dude,
fight
I
a
think
kid
if-
in a wheelchair. You heard it here first, folks.
if you go into this fight thinking that it's gonna be easy, he's gonna gut slice you, man. You're out.
he can't
Yeah,
traverse
no.
sideways. Like, he's got to maneuver on wheels. So if I just sidestep him, then it'll be fine.
Depends on the kind of terrain as well.
I want
Yeah,
Evan
I mean,
to
I'd fight him on rough
his
terrain.
channel. Evan, I'm calling you out. Little boy, let's fight. Let's fight. Your dad can't help you now, kid. Your dad can't help you now.
All I'm saying is, self-preservation is a reasonable goal in life.
I'm just saying, I want his channel. He's like maybe 10 years old and has like one of the biggest channels.
Well, that's a good target. Like, you've got more reach than him. That's a good choice.
Plus, he has enough thrust. He can stab me once or twice. I'd still be good. I would slash that kid's throat. Take his infant channel. Evan Tube, I'm coming for you, kid.
He would do it. I think he would do it.
Yeah, so that's probably like the mobile roundup, I guess. Let's talk about real video games now. Who's got one to throw into the ring? Preferably something that doesn't involve actual murder.
Oh my god, this week I played a bunch of VR games.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Jello. Like what?
So I went to an Insomniac event here in LA. And,
oh yeah, they're making an Oculus game, aren't they?
They're making a bunch. So the first one that's the most obvious is their game called Edge of Nowhere. Imagine Dead Space but in Antarctica with VR. So
oh shit, that sounds awesome already.
It's super awesome. So the way you play this is you put the VR on, you're the light source. So wherever you move your head, you're the light source, but you're playing the game third person. So you're playing as a guy and you're the light source, and so you'll hear noises behind you and shit, and you can like turn your full body around and be like, what the fuck is that? But the way you control your guy is that wherever your head is, that's where the camera and the light is facing. Mm-hmm. So you can move your guy in that area, but you have to like turn to actually move him around stuff.
Yeah, that's how Cronus does things. It's actually a good use of it's a very good use of the headset because it gives you that camera control. You don't have to worry about the right thumbstick and shit.
Yeah, it's super. It's so the basic gist is you're a guy who's professor. I believe you are some dude from London. You were in Oxford, I think, at some school, and your professor is convinced that before mankind existed on this planet, there was another race that lived here, basically like a Cthulhu-esque storyline. Mm-hmm. And he goes to Antarctica because he knows he's discovered this stuff, but he's not willing to present it to the public yet until he has more proof. So he takes this girl along with him. A bunch of people go with him, but one of the people that goes is the girl that you're interested in. So, of course, when they go missing, you're like, I've got to go save them. So you head to Antarctica, and that's where the story begins. And it's super fucking trippy. There are monsters. All the different monsters have, like, some can't see you, so you have to remain still. Some can see you, but, like, they can't hear. Like, all the tropes are in there. It's awesome. But it does really cool, trippy shit as well. So because it's Cthulhu, you lose your mind as you play through this. And so suddenly you're, like, no longer in an ice cavern, but you're back in your dorm room. Or now you're in like this weird trippy world that is between worlds. Like, it's super cool. It has a lot of scares that you wouldn't expect that aren't jump scary because it's hard to do jump scare when you're not the like first person, you're the person. But it has a lot of like really awesome, like really tense moments of fuck. Like you learn the ability to scan the room early on in the demo. And so what happens is when you scan the room sometimes, at first it's a dark, empty room. You scan it, and all these pings, like, it's, you're like, oh no. And immediately you realize you're not alone, and there's a million things in this room with you, and you're like, well, that's unsettling. It's very, very cool. And I definitely had a ton of fun playing. It was only like a 30-minute demo, but it's the closest thing I can relate it to is like Dead Space. It felt like Dead Space. It had the same, like, I had the same vibe that I had while playing Dead Space, and it even had, because there's a lot of hallucinations, it had that thing that you had, Dodger, in Dead Space 3, which was you didn't know what was real, and I was like, that's not even happening, and you're like, it's here, it's killing me, and I'm like, there's nothing here right now.
Right.
Yeah, so it was real cool. Here's the thing. I think all the games I played come out this year at some point. I just don't know when it is, but it comes out this year.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if Oculus are paying for it, because I know that obviously there's been a lot of controversy around the fact that Oculus seems to have exclusives right now. And it is worth noting that those games were basically bought and paid for by Oculus themselves. They probably wouldn't have existed without them. But simultaneously, it's obvious that people are annoyed by that, justifiably. Because, like, well, fuck, I own a Vive and I can't play this game, even though that's like owning a different monitor.
Yeah, I've heard people are hacking that. So
yeah, which I'm totally in favor of that.
Is there a program that makes it so that you can play
Not
Oculus
all of them.
games?
Not all of them. There's a lot of weird shit about, like, the relationship between Vive, basically Valve and HTC and Oculus. Like, they used to have a relationship and they were like working together, and then it broke down, and there's all sorts of weird shit. Like, Oculus claims that Valve is not supporting the Oculus titles, not the other way around, and then Valve claims the opposite. And like, I don't know who to fucking believe. But it is definitely annoying, you know, that exclusivity is a pain in the ass, but Oculus has been shelling the cash out, and Valve hasn't. You know, they haven't been paying for these games to actually exist on their platform. And I think right now, anyway, with VR adoption being low, because, of course, one, it's expensive, and two, there aren't actually that many units to sell, you are making a huge fucking risk if you're making a VR game, because you're not going to sell that many copies of it. So you need some money to kind of keep you going, to keep you afloat. The question is, where's that money going to come from? I guess Oculus is shelling out more to Insomniac. It's weird to see Insomniac making this for Oculus. Are they making it for PlayStation VR as well, or is it going to be Oculus exclusive?
I do not know. All I know is that we played it on Oculus stuff. So, I mean, that's what we played on.
Yeah, it's coming exclusively to Oculus. So Insomniac, who of course are known for PlayStation stuff, is releasing on Oculus and not PSVR, which is a surprise. But I guess Oculus are the ones handing out the cash to make it.
I also played another game there that was amazing. It's called The Unspoken. Imagine Americanized Harry Potter in Chicago, but instead of schools of, like, wizards, it's fight gangs of wizards. And
What?
This sounds awesome.
Okay, I'm sold already.
And you are, it's a PvP game where you are and your team trying to take over parts of Chicago, and you fight in arenas, like hidden arenas in parts of Chicago. And so the way it works, it's maybe the coolest thing I've played in a long time. So the way it works is that there's an arena that forms when you start the battle, and so like you and your enemy raise shit out of the ground as platforms, and there are little orbs that appear every now and again that give you power-ups. Your basic attack is in your right hand, and you use like those like controller things where it's all the, so like it moves, it senses your movement and everything. So your right hand is a fireball, and you can throw it, or you can hold it like this and charge it up and then fire it at them. Or you can just really quickly like just throw as many as you can. And then your left hand is a shield if you hold it like this, or if you hold it out, it opens up a menu, and the menu is your spells. And your spells are, one is like a crayon that you can draw a shield with.
Oh,
one
sick. is
a paper airplane that you can fold and then throw it at the enemy, and then it becomes a real airplane and then like attacks them, dive bombs them.
What?
One is a hammer that you have to hammer runes that appear in front of you. If you hammer them in the right order, you create a giant spear that you can throw to shatter the enemy's shield. And one of them is a bird skull, like a raven skull. And if you hold it out in front of you and you move it around, it makes other little raven skulls. If you touch those again, ravens pop out and fly at the enemy and attack them. So now they have to dodge like ravens and shit. And meanwhile, you're moving back and forth between platforms trying to collect power-ups so you can keep casting magic. All this is going on while there are these other orbs that fly around. And if you hit those and change it to your color and then shatter it with the spear, you get the power-up within it. Enough of those power-ups allows you to summon a golem. And the golem from like street trash comes together and attacks the enemy. And you can kill it, but it's really, really hard. And the golem destroys platforms, so you have to fall back. And as you fall back, eventually you run out of platforms and he just destroys the one around and kills you. So, like,
did you play this with Oculus Touch, or did you play this with
with Touch.
Right, I was gonna say, because this is weird, because obviously right now Oculus Touch is not available on the market. So right now, if you want to play a game like this, you've got to play it with Vive, because that's the only one with actual controllers.
This is coming out end of the year. So I imagine Touch will be out by then. It was so effing cool. The only problem that I had,
Awesome.
everything about this game was so dope. The only problem I have is that because I was so into it, the touch controls, there are buttons everywhere on those controllers, but only certain buttons do certain things. And also they cast certain spells. So what would happen is I would grip so tightly because I was so into the combat that I would be touching all the buttons at once and nothing would happen. I wouldn't realize it because there's buttons everywhere. There's buttons on your palm. There's buttons. So like I would be like, why is this working? And I get so frustrated and realize, oh, because I need to let go and relax. Because I was so into the game that I was like, I played a dev and shit. He crushed me the first 2 times. But then I learned how to play and I like came back and won 2 and he was like, all right, final round. I'm like, yeah, don't go easy. He's like, I won't. And he destroyed me. It was so funny. But like, it was a ton of fun. The 5 rounds that we played, I couldn't tell you how long they lasted. All I know is I put that VR thing on. When I pulled it off, I was like dripping in sweat. And they were like, it's time for lunch. I was like, what time is it? It's like I went in and came out years later. It was so awesome. That game changed my perception. Like VR, I've been like, all right, it's cool. This legit changed my perception on the game. Like the way you move your hands, there's different spells and shit. You move around. It was so good. It was so good. I cannot wait to play this in real life. Like you basically are a wizard and you battle other wizards for control the streets of Chicago.
That game sounds like it's still a lot better on Vive or room scale because I assume you can't like physically dodge shit by moving your body.
You have to move.
That's the thing. Like on Vive, you can. Like if you play stuff like Space Pirate Trainer and Audio Shield and shit on Vive, the movement of your body is also tracked because it tracks the position of the headset relative to the 2 controllers in your hands. So a game like that where you could literally dodge a fireball by just doing that, I think would be fantastic. But Oculus has made it clear they're not after that. Like they don't want to do room scale, and HTC and Valve are like, we want to do room scale. So that's the kind of the big differentiator between the two right now, hardware wise. And it just seems like, I mean, that game does sound amazing, and I'm no doubt it will be a lot of fun, but it sounds like it will be a little bit better if you could also do that, and you did it in a room scale environment.
I honestly had that, like they set a mat down, and they're like, when you calibrate, just make sure to stand on this mat because that'll make it easier. And I would find myself physically trying to dodge sometimes. Like a fireball would come at me, I'd throw up my shield, and I'd move a little bit, and there was times where I'd inch myself off the mat and realize like, shit, I got to recalibrate and step backwards. And so like, it's just because it's not because it was bad. It's because I was so into what was happening that I was screwing up and then losing because of it. I was like, crap. So,
I mean,
it was cool.
You mean?
Like, TB, do you feel that these games should be developed with both possibilities? Because I think it's important to have room scale and stuff where you don't have to have a lot of space.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, because right now with the VR sort of on a daily basis, I alternate between room scale and sit down, and I do a lot of sit down, honestly. Room scale's fun, but obviously it takes a bit of preparation. You gotta push your chair out the way, make sure your area's clear, there's nothing you can trip over, make sure your calibration's good. Usually it's fine. You don't have to recalibrate all that often. It's usually like, okay, I've got the space, we're cool, we remembered how it is. But also playing those games can be quite exhausting unless you're very, very fit. So, because it's like playing a Wii motion game, only even worse. You're moving your entire body. It's like playing a Kinect game for a long period of time. So I think that developing with both in mind is a good idea. Bear in mind the Vive can do both. There's this misconception that the Vive is all about room scale and only about room scale, which is not true. The thing is, the majority of titles on the Vive are right now, whereas all the Oculus stuff is sit down or stand up, but not moving, because Oculus Touch doesn't exist yet, and room scale is never going to exist with Oculus, at least with the current hardware. So you're playing stuff like Eve Valkyrie and iRacing and Air Mech Command, and you're doing that sat down. I do think they need to both be supported. I also think, of course, that ideally the games need to be on both sets of hardware, because it's like saying, well, you've got a different kind of monitor, so you can't play this particular game. And it's like, ugh. I mean, I understand Oculus are paying for a lot of these experiences. There's a reason why Oculus Studios is on this, because they're throwing fucking money at these developers to make these games. And the problem is, it's turning again into another kind of console war, and most people feasibly cannot afford or want to buy both headsets because they're fucking expensive.
Well, I mean, like, if I was running Oculus and I saw the way that shit went down with the Xbox One and the PS4, with them coming out and not having enough good game experiences at launch and just like being super lackluster for years potentially.
Yeah.
I would also invest lots of money to make sure that there were lots of good games available the second that my hardware came out, because this is going to be like, people already have spent forever saying, well, VR is going to be, you know, a flash in the pan, and then nobody's going to care about it anymore. Like,
a lot of people keep saying that, and I think it's people that have never used it before and are just, you know, unbelievably ignorant about the hardware. You can call it gimmicky if you want, but if you've never put a headset on and actually experienced what it can do, then I don't think you really have any right to make that claim.
I mean, it's not like 3D where like you watch.
It's not
on
like
TV,
3D, no.
It's like, wow, it's kind of different.
No, it's completely different.
For a lot of people, they aren't going to get the opportunity to use it unless somebody in their life buys it.
Yeah, therein lies the problem, right?
So, like, what's going to make them want to do that is seeing lots of really cool trailers like that.
Yes.
It's gonna
and
make
hearing Jesse talk
that
about
game
this kind of
really
thing,
fun.
you know?
Yeah. So I like, as much as we can say, oh, they're really like dividing people, I think it was smart of them to invest so much money to make sure that there are a lot of good games.
Yeah, I mean, it totally is. You know, it's the same as I said, Sony and Microsoft doing the same thing for their platforms. The reality of it is that software moves hardware, and if you want to move it, then really the best way to differentiate the experiences is by having that software lineup. The problem is, you know, it's going to hurt the devs in the long run, because if I can't play my Oculus games on my Vive, you can play Vive games on Oculus, by the way. Anything that's open VR will run on both headsets. Oculus right now won't necessarily without that hack. And it's definitely creating a very weird kind of walled garden approach to content, which is maybe not the best way to go about it. But then again, you know, they threw the money at it. I think you can, in principle, say that you're against it, but if you look at the business realities of it, it seems like you kind of have to do that, even if it sucks for the consumer, and it does suck for the consumer, no doubt about that.
I want to play the IKEA game.
I have the IKEA game downloaded on Steam. Once we get back from PAX, we'll do the IKEA game video. It's gonna be how it is. I will tell you what IKEA looks like in VR, and you can tell me what the furniture is.
You can buy my standing desk.
I will.
Oh, shit. In VR.
Man.
I will.
In VR.
Indeed.
Doesn't have smells though. You can't smell the like cinnamon rolls.
No, probably not.
So you should probably
Can't smell
bake
those
cinnamon rolls that day.
Dank
Just
Swedish
saying.
meatballs.
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't smell the meatballs. You smell cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon meatballs.
I don't think of cinnamon roll smell when I think of.
Have you been to IKEA?
Have I ever been to IKEA? Yes.
Have you been there lately?
Yes.
What did it smell like?
I don't know. It smelled like fucking
Oh my-
cranberry sauce and shit.
No, it does. I can't deal with
I
this.
can't
guy.
believe that everyone can't recall the smell of IKEA at the
How
drop
do
of
you
a
not
hat.
recall the smell?
God,
Of IKEA?
Dodger, what the fuck?
I know.
What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah, I played a bit more Mech Command actually on Oculus, so that's a pretty good implementation. It's a solid version of AirMech. The fact that you can see the other player as a giant robot across the table from you dropping shit is really cool. Does it enhance the game? I mean, not really. It's cool. That maybe is an example of it's a good template for something in future that might be kind of table based, like future strategy games being kind of on a war table that you can look up and down on will work pretty well. Board games will work pretty well.
You can play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that would be fucking great. You know, being Jesus
Dude,
on Vive.
Our Yu-Gi-Oh game.
That would be so cool.
On Vive, that would be perfect, because you got your two
now,
controllers. Your controller becomes like the thing on your arm, and he's like,
Oh my god.
you so many
Childhood
creatures.
coming
Yeah.
to reality.
Why don't we have gloves yet? Where's the VR gloves?
Yeah.
It's you know, it's kind of odd that they didn't go for the VR
Yeah.
haptic gloves as the first thing.
Right?
You'd
Nintendo
think
did
that.
it.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't.
It's so bad.
I think
Yeah,
we've
but
discovered
these could
why.
Be real bad though. They could be
It could be
Actually useful.
super bad.
super bad, and I just want like, cause I can imagine games like where you're just like, "Blah," and you can like all your fingers do shit, and then you can just throw it. You can throw the card. Like it's time to duel. And you throw the card.
Oh fuck.
Oh my god. Like,
And it would look just like the anime, and they would
Right?
like sparkle to life in front of you, and you'd be like, oh.
Now you're playing with power.
trap cards get activated, and you're like, oh shit, the
Yeah.
trap card.
Trap cards. Fuck.
Yeah.
Kaiba, no!
I was gonna say, and then we can all make Kaiba jokes constantly.
Oh, Kaiba.
Kaiba.
I think the gloves will
Red
be
Eyes
up there.
Black Dragon, I summon you!
My blue eyes.
Dude, and then play Pokemon. You could go out and actually catch the Mons.
I mean, Pokemon Go is kind of gonna be like that.
You're gonna go catch the
yeah.
Mons?
It's Pokemon Go. You're still not in. You're not in the world, dude.
I know, but
No,
it's like
you're in the
low-key.
real one.
You have to like literally walk through the grass. Like you're just kind of. And then
I
you're
know,
like,
but like that's what the VR experience would be too.
yeah.
Not even. Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing that you said. Yes.
No, but like if you're on Pokemon Go, you're kind of just like you're looking at your phone like in real life grass.
With Pokemon Go, you
Yeah,
can
real life
like,
grass is
you can,
shit.
like-
Real life grass sucks.
Fuck
dude.
real life
you need
grass.
The, like big ass like strands of grass that you're like walking through, and then all of a sudden something's like, "Blah!" and it's like a rat-a-tat.
something is Inception.
Here's the thing, as we learned this week, Pokemon are not cute and cuddly. They're huge. Every Pokemon is like 5'11".
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Only one
Onyx
is
can crush a house.
Cubone, the only one, he's like 1 foot tall.
Yeah.
Everything else is huge. Everything else is ginormous. It's Gengar? Is that who? I don't. Who was the? What did we want to thought was like? One of them was
Gengar
like,
is the ghost guy. Yeah.
I think he's like 5'11". He's a
That was
5'11"
like Haunter.
Scooby Ghost.
All
Haunter's like
Pokemon are bigger
5'11".
than me. It's depressing.
Doesn't take much.
Oh my god, yeah,
Snorlax-
Pokemon
Snorlax
Snap
is
VR.
6'11".
Oh shit.
That's what I want. I want Pokemon Snap VR because that's on rails, right?
Yeah, you're on
So,
rails.
like, just have
Yeah,
like a
I'll
sit
look
down
around.
VR Pokemon Snap experience.
I mean,
Just take
you'll only
pictures.
want that if you're in an actual vehicle. Like, if you have not tried a VR experience where, I'm not in the actual vehicle. I'm just like, in the game, you'd have to be in like a little
Yeah,
car
no,
or
that's how
buggy or
Pokemon
something.
Snap
Yeah.
works.
Oh, okay, all right. I was gonna say,
Pokemon Snap.
because trust me, you try it. No, that's on the N64.
played
Fuck
it, guys.
Pokemon
Did you
Snap,
not
the
take your
N64.
game thing to Blockbuster?
No!
And get your little Pokemon Snap.
I didn't
pictures
do any
printed
of
out?
those things.
Oh
Why
my
would
God,
I?
Pokemon Snap. I forgot you could get your pictures printed. Oh my God.
Blockbuster.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
you realize this is
Blockbuster
why.
video.
Yeah, this is why Blockbuster went under for this stupid shit. Pokemon Snap
I
is
think it was
directly
towards the end
responsible
of Blockbuster
for the
honestly.
death of a company.
Coming
but-
to Blockbuster.
Just bear in mind, if you are not in the game, if you're not in some sort of vehicle or whatever, if you aren't in that, you're gonna feel real fucking sick, most likely.
Oh, I bet.
I have tried the couple of VR games where it's like you're walking and you're using the controller to do it. I'm like, because it fucks up your inner-ear balance. It really
Yeah,
screws
if you're
with
not
you.
a true Pokemon master, you'll get dizzy and shit.
Yeah, that's why. That's exactly why.
That is why.
Yeah, so you do want to watch out for that. You might be wondering, why was that game that we showed you earlier, the one that Jesse was playing, like, why was that in third person? It's like, well, if you were running up a fucking mountain in first person without actually moving, you'd be motion sick, most likely.
Yep.
Some people don't get motion sick from it, but a lot of people fucking do. That's why the Omni Verdix Omni treadmill thing is being made. You know, the little thing where you put the slidey things on your shoes and then you run on the spot. That's being made to handle that, but obviously that's another piece of fucking giant fucking hardware that's going to be limiting a lot of people.
There's a what is it? I think it's the VR Zoom. Is it VIR or VR Zoom? It's a bike created for VR. So it's like a
Great. That's going to be very limited to certain genres, I think, isn't it?
yes, but it's a movement. So that's like I like that they're adding things like that.
Ah, yeah,
to-
VR. Yeah, I'm noticing the video right here. Yeah, it's called VIR Zoom, as you said.
Yeah, and I like them adding things that add a sense of movement to it. Because
Yeah.
I agree, one of the things that I still want in VR is the ability to
It still
move
looks
besides
ridiculous.
just turning your head. So I'm down for
you can
things that-
do that on Vive. Yeah.
Yeah.
The weird
Never
thing is, like, a lot of these
happened.
experiences, you wouldn't even need this. Like, I can see, like, on the horse, but in the car, if you play a car racing game, it feels fine. It's not a problem. If you
Yeah.
ride in a tank, it feels fine. It's if you're moving yourself and you don't feel yourself moving, that's when the sickness comes in.
Interesting. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's a full-on desync between your brain and what's actually going on that causes that nausea. But yeah, that is literally a VR bike, as you said. That's an interesting, if kind of weird, solution to the problem. I wonder if that would actually work.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Get someone to drive you in the car.
You know what's weird is I did the blue. It's called the Blue VR experience. It's underwater thing, and I was on a plane, and the plane banked while we were kind of doing that, and it felt much better. Like, because you were moving through the water, and because you felt the plane moving at the same time, the whole experience felt, one, a lot more immersive, and two, a lot less sicky. But as the plane was it was like straight and not moving around, it actually felt weirder and didn't feel natural.
Wait, you had VR on a plane?
Yeah, I've got my Gear VR. I take it on planes all the time.
I love the idea of people just looking at you like, what the
I don't give a fuck. I'm in my own private cinema. You fuckers are stuck in fucking economy. I'm in my giant cinema on the moon. Fuck you.
How am I supposed to awkwardly watch the person next to me get to the nude scenes in Ex Machina, and I can be
Best part. They never. You don't have to worry about that. The nude scenes are directly into your eyes. Yeah, man. Gear VR on plane is the best. You're stuck in a shitty seat in economy. You're actually in a giant theater on the top of a mountain.
The Wolf on Wall Street on a plane, and he snorted the cocaine off
the hookers. Yeah.
I love that planes have unedited movies now, and you can literally watch the 80-year-old grandma next to you watch the dirtiest scene in a movie. And you're just like,
because from most angles, if you look at the screen in front of the person next to you, you actually can't see anything. And I don't know how that works.
False. I can see. I see out the corner of my eye, and I watch
angles.
like, ooh.
I remember when I used to snort cocaine off hookers. Those were the days.
Back in my day, we called it Colombian nose candy.
Jesus Christ.
Grandma.
Stop. You're too old for Colombian nose candy. Anyway, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about games that we've been playing this week. Plenty more on the cards. We would like to shill for you, however. Squarespace.com/cooptional is our sponsor for the show today. We have an ad for you, and then some music. We'll be right back after the break. Do not go anywhere. Or else.
Are you spider fingering?
Another month, another Squarespace ad. I'm sure Squarespace are extremely happy with our marketing for their product.
As a matter of fact, Squarespace are not at all happy with our marketing for their product.
Oh.
Look, they're a company that facilitates the building of websites for people that want a professional-looking site without design or coding experience. Over the last few months, you have introduced killer robots, a meta within a meta within a meta, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned sharks at some point. But nothing at all about how to actually make a website on Squarespace.
Okay then, Mr. PR expert, what do you suggest?
Well, I have a website on Squarespace. Why don't you just show them that?
You have a website on Squarespace?
Well, yeah, doesn't everyone?
How long did it take you to make?
I'd say it took about all of one day in total.
Was it easy to make?
Oh yeah, for sure, it was a piece of cake.
What's the website for, exactly?
In my case, it's a personal portfolio of most of the freelance work I've done up until now.
Did you register using squarespace.com/cooptional?
Well...
You didn't, did you?
No.
I knew it. You're part of the conspiracy. Killer robots, dancing sharks, Jesse's dumb face. It all makes sense now. You've all been working against me, bringing us down from the inside.
Look, will you shut up if we give you 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional?
I could be persuaded to.
Great. Awesome. Now that that's out of the way, I have to update the website.
Why?
Well, I'm looking for a new employer because I have the sudden desire to hit my current one with a brick.
Squarespace. Create a website for whatever you'd like, with no experience required. Galleries, e-commerce, portfolios, resumes for a future career with a mentally stable employer. Do it all on squarespace.com/cooptional. Squarespace. You should. Use our bloody referral link, Chris! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You can tell we're all very enthusiastic for the show today.
Jesse and I grabbed the last of the coffee at the office like hooligans.
By last, we mean someone should probably make more. Someone should probably make more.
What kind of dickhead doesn't remake the pot after it's down to the last cup?
I had to be back for
Kind
a
of dickhead
podcast.
that only has a couple minutes for a break and doesn't want to be late because
excuses.
Total Biscuit Bane.
I'll be the dickhead. I don't give a shit about anything else in this office. Fuck them. Fuck them. They're all interns. Fuck them. I don't care.
That's not true. Not all of them.
Not all of them are interns.
Savages. That's what you are. Savages, I say.
I also, just to get this out of the way, while I was at the Insomniac thing, I played one more game. It wasn't VR. It was called Song of the Deep.
Song of the Deep.
Wait! Is Song of the Deep the game that's being made by GameStop and Insomniac?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, GameStop they just recently announced that it's going to be they're a publisher now.
They're gonna become a conflict of interest riddled publisher.
Indeed, it's like that isn't
a
dodgy
rewards
or anything.
If
So
you use
the
your
game-
rewards card, you could get a new downloadable content.
Ignoring that GameStop's involved at all, which is what I had to do going into it. Song of the Dupe.
Song of the Dupe. The cosmic dupe.
Song of the Deep is
That dupe.
essentially a Metroidvania style game. Here's the deal. Feeling wise, like emotion wise, like going into this game, it felt very much like Child of Light, or in the Blind Forest. It had that vibe to it. The basic gist is you're a young girl and your father was a fisherman, and he would regale you with tales of like sea and stuff. And one night he just goes missing out in the sea, and so you, as a little girl, build a sub to go out and find him.
Cool.
And the way it works is that there's an undersea world, and it's very like it's all connected, and it's all very Metro style, where you see a thing and you can't get it now, but later on clearly you can come back and get it. Like it's very simple, but I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's very, there's something very like, quaint's not the word I'm looking for, but it felt like it was like very it was a game that was, for what it was, there was like an emotional resonance with it that I think is really key to a lot of games like that. It
Okay.
felt very much, like I said, like Child of Light, like or in the Blind Forest. It had that vibe to it, which I thought was cool.
Can I ask, like, what do you think? I'm not asking this to be a shithead. What do you think?
By the way, yes, it's all underwater, guy in chat. Yeah, it's all, you're in a sub, and then you can get out of the sub and swim around and get in like smaller areas, but it's all underwater. You're like in an underwater world. There's bosses and there's puzzles, and like eventually it goes from being ruins to now you're like in a mech city, and there's like light puzzles that you have to change. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, but yeah, it's all underwater.
So Dodger's question.
Yeah.
What do you think VR adds to
This was not a VR game, by the way.
Oh, it wasn't. It was just
This
a
is
normal
not a
game.
VR game. This is legitimately just like a normal. That's what I was saying. Like, it
Okay.
wasn't related to what we were doing.
Right.
Yeah, this is
I misunderstood. I was like a VR
Yeah.
side scroller.
Yeah, VR adds nothing to those 2D games.
Okay.
Nothing
This is not a VR
whatsoever.
game at all. This is
Yeah.
not VR in the least.
Yeah.
There was one other game there, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't because they didn't let us play it. But basically,
Why the fuck are you talking about it then?
I don't know, but
Here's
the
this
concept
thing we
looked
didn't get to
kinda cool.
play.
The concept looked cool. It was like it's like Altered Beast, but VR version of Altered Beast.
Oh, thank God. That was what VR truly needed to break through the mainstream. VR
I was
Altered
like-
Beast.
And I was like, I can become a giant animal? All right, that's kind of cool. But they didn't let us play it, so I don't give a shit.
Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't really care. But yeah, then that's what I got to play, and that was a ton of fun. And I was excited for VR for the first time in a long time. I was like, holy shit. So
It's coming along, all the new shit that comes out for it just, makes it more worthwhile. Launch titles for VR are as basic as you would expect them to be, but they're getting better, and there's new shit coming, so hopefully it does reasonably well. That means you've got to make more fucking headsets and actually ship them to people if you want people to play it.
No.
Yeah.
the last last thing that I really played this week was Dark Souls 3.
Yes.
I did.
I thought I sucked. I am convinced I'm not good at it, but literally all week long I got people being like, bro, you played hard mode and you killed bosses that I didn't see people kill that quick. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you play with the mouse and keyboard. That makes it infinitely harder. I was like,
No, it doesn't actually.
all right, if you
It's a
think
bit
I'm good at this
awkward.
game, thanks, guys. Like, I'll take all the credit I can get. They're like, you killed a boss, that first crystal boss. We've never seen anyone in a video kill that boss before. And I was like,
Really? I did that on stream.
Took
How
me-
many times? But did you do it first time though?
it took me 3 tries.
Yeah,
the first
tell
time
me
I was like,
about
I have no idea what I'm doing. The second time I had a strategy and he just got me. And the third time I killed him. I was like, that wasn't hard at all. Like, who do you watch?
He's not.
They watched
I
me
don't know.
probably.
Yeah.
Probably my
They
stream because I'm
watched
fucking
mine and
awful. But
immediately came to your video and they were like, Jesse, you're so good.
I decided to stream Dark Souls because I never played a Dark Souls game ever, any of them. So I was like, I'll play this one. And I died only like 8 times in the tutorial. And
That's
then, and then I hit a point where Gmart came and helped me. And then it got a lot easier because he was good at the game. And I realized that I don't like those kinds of games where I have to like strategically think out like every single little mob. I'm just
that's
like,
why you need to play like Northern Lion does. He brings a bunch of viewers in, just scums every fucking boss.
Yeah,
like he
well,
just
that's what I
ganks
did.
them.
It's like Gmart and Sam came in, and I was like, oh, this is fun now. So they just killed everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can just play the game with some people you summon in, and it will make the bosses a lot easier. That's
Crendor, do you want to help me beat the game?
equivalent to the easy mode.
I don't want to do it myself. That sounds like a lot of work.
Well, I probably can't help you very much.
The problem I had is that I got through the game. I killed that crystal guy, then the first boss, and it wasn't really hard. It usually took me 3 tries to do everything. I got to some asshole who was naked with the samurai sword and was like, fuck this shit. And I didn't fight him. And then I met an NPC and was like, wait, can I attack this guy? I attacked him
no.
and he permanently aggro and killed me.
Yeah, he'll
over
do
and
that.
over.
Yeah.
I gave up. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this game.
Welcome to Dark Souls.
Please,
That's
again.
what they do. That.
I think like the biggest issue that I've heard with Dark Souls 3 right now is that they focused so much more on multiplayer with this one to make it a lot easier for people to play with each other. But there's a giant bug where sometimes when you summon another person in or you're trying to do PvP, everybody else just T-forms and like floats around and you can't tell when they're attacking you.
Okay.
You can't see like the person that you're playing with attack. Like it's just
It's
really
not
bad.
ideal.
Yeah. So and then
Definitely
be like,
haven't
don't worry,
seen that.
guys, it's gonna be so much easier to do multiplayer. And then just everybody's teeing all over the place. You're like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, they have a password-based matchmaking now, don't they? Which is something that it did not have previously. Although you can still be invaded by random dudes even in that
Yeah,
setup.
of
So
course. I
if
mean,
you
that's
go
why-
online, that's the downside.
If you want real hard, this goes to Sam. Wherever you are, Sammy, this is for you. I played a game that I was going to make a video on and legit deleted the video because I was so pissed. It's called Slain. It's a game
Oh,
called
Slain is also terrible. Like that's the other point with Slain. It's not a good
Slain
video game.
is like, imagine a 2D side-scrolling version of Dark Souls, except the controls are like 0.5 milliseconds off, and everything there murders you. So I got to a boss that was like the red Skeletress, and I was like, oh shit. And she like links over and she like swings this giant thing. She killed me so many times, I legit was just like, fuck it, I'm not even making a video. I don't even fucking care. I
Don't
just
play
was
Slain.
done.
It's terrible.
I was like, I'm not even promoting this shit. Fuck it. I was so mad. I
Fuck it!
It's
could not beat it. It was like, I can't beat the first boss. I was out. I recorded 45 minutes of me losing to a boss over and over and over again. It was just done. It
yeah.
was done.
That game had a lot of reasonable hype behind it because the trailer looked really good and had a cool
The
aesthetic.
music's amazing.
Yeah, the
It's so
music's great.
good.
The gameplay's like shit. Like, it controls terribly. It's really unresponsive. It doesn't do what you tell it to do. And a lot of the combat is just literally button mashing. Like, if you want a 2D Dark Souls, it's Salt and Sanctuary. That
Salt and
is,
Sanctuary is
that
the
is
one,
2D Dark
yeah.
Souls. Slain is not. Slain is like a waste of potential. You don't even want to go within 10 feet of it. Don't even bother.
My heart ached because I saw the title screen, and when the rock intro loads up and it shows the guy with the sword, it's like, holy shit, I'm
Yeah.
in. And then you start up, and it's like wailing banshees wake you from the grave and like, go save your children. I'm like, yes.
That's
Music.
metal as fuck.
It's so cool. And then the first level, I'm like, this looks great. You're in the blood fields, and then you get to actual combat, and I was like, oh fuck this shit. it was not good. I
That's
was
so
like,
sad.
right? I was
It sucks.
heartbroken.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. It's a damn waste of potential. It's a shame. Oh well. I'll tell you what came out this week, which people should fucking play again. Battlezone 98 Redux. Yes. Battlezone. You remember fucking Battlezone, right?
That language.
Battlezone, but what is the oh my
Well,
God,
it's
what is-
in 1998, a remake of Battlezone came out. Battlezone, the old Atari wireframe tank game. In 98, they
Yeah.
released a version of it, which was basically
what's
like,
the Redux part.
well, Redux means
just
they
redo- they
brought it out again, you know? They've,
All right.
they've re-released it, and it's way fucking better now. Yeah, because they've updated to run on modern hardware. It runs at modern resolutions with all sorts of shit like that. But that game's amazing. That game is it's like, what if the Cold War and the space race ended up in us fighting with hover tanks on, like, the moon and shit against Russia? And you could also build a base from inside your tank, but you could pilot your tank as well. You could command a squadron of tanks to go and fucking fight the other tanks.
How big is the tank that you can build a base in the tank?
Well, you don't build a base in the tank. You are inside the tank, and then you command the building of the base to occur.
You said you build a base in a tank.
No, it's not fucking bonsai base building.
It's the Mary Poppins tank game.
It's the TARDIS. Let's be honest.
All right, that makes sense.
I like Mary Poppins is a less used reference of a thing that has too many big stuff inside of it.
All I remember from Mary Poppins is the spoonful of sugar helping medicine go down.
Which
got
it
her
has been
bag
noted.
and she pulls out a fucking hat stand
And the
out
umbrella.
of her bag.
I remember the Simpsons Mary Poppins episode more than actual Mary Poppins.
Space-time compression manipulation helps the medicine go down. But you should play Battlezone. It's a fucking classic, and it's really cool that they've re-released it, and it runs really well. I loaded it up, and it ran perfectly first time. A lot of these old game remakes, or, where they just, like, slap a different launcher on it, don't work that well. Battlezone fucking does. It plays real good, real smooth, and it is basically a real-time strategy, but you are also in the vehicle, and you can command shit to be built and all this other stuff. And it's Russians versus America on fucking Mars and the moon and all sorts of other cool shit. It is a killer game. It's absolutely phenomenal. So you should check that out if you're looking for something a little bit complex, a little bit old school, but very, very cool nonetheless. So there's a game.
I got some games I played.
Do it.
So this last couple of weeks, our friend Benji was off of university, so Sam and Gmart and him and I were like, let's play some games. So we found some games. First, we tried 7 Days to Die. Sam was like, oh, guys, they, like, patched it and stuff, and, like, it's pretty fun now. And then we started playing it, and I'm like, Sam, this game is
Sam,
garbage.
this is a trash can game.
This game is awful, and his game wouldn't even start. It just kept crashing, and he is like, fine.
That game's been in early access for about 75 years now, so it's to be expected.
And it's still there, and I refunded that game.
What is it? Is it just...
It's like a
zombie survival
game,
bullshit,
but just really bad.
Can you
It's
survive
really
7 days? No, because no one can play it that long.
It's really bad.
But it's got a live action trailer on PlayStation now, so it must be good. It's not.
No. And then we tried Empyrion Galactic Survival, which
How many fucking survival games are we gonna get?
there's a lot of survival games.
They
now.
just released another one today called Black Death that everyone's like, oh,
Yeah, I wanted to try that.
Jesus, it's like a migrating fucking herd of buffalo. Every time they release a survival game, the herds of fucking 13-year-old griefers and streamer idiots jump on whatever fucking game it is.
Streamer idiots. I am up to
You are a
stream that
streamer idiot, absolutely. You're one of those people.
Twitch.tv/Crendor. So,
Black Death. Where the...
Empyrion Galactic Survival. It was kind of fun. And then we were like, this is way too complicated for like a survival game. And then these people were like, yeah, you got to go mine space rocks, but you got to build a spaceship. And to build a spaceship, you have to, and we were like, I don't want to play anymore.
Holy shit. Side note, have you guys seen the Kerbal Space Program ship that's just a gun?
No.
It's so amazing. It like flies up and then it has like the chamber that pops out and rotates and then slips back in and then shoots a bullet. It just looks like a gun with wings. It's fucking amazing. Wait, I'm gonna find it. Continue.
Wait, what does this have to do with what?
Nothing at all.
All right.
I mean, weirdly enough, this trailer that I'm watching right here from Empyrion, which is on the screen, looks interesting. Like, as opposed to other survival games. Like, you've got to build a base, and you've got to build a fucking spaceship, and you could go and attack a base in a spaceship. It's like, oh, it's cool.
It wasn't a bad game. It was just kind of overly complex and takes a lot of learning. So, I mean, like, I can see how a lot of people would like it. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, like, 7 Days to Die. Like, and then we played Wolfquest. That was an interesting game. You play as wolves.
Oh my god, I watched you guys play Wolfquest. Everything I ever wanted.
You play as wolves, a pack of wolves. You hunt together, and then you raise baby wolves together, and you like go back after you've like hunted, and you gotta feed the babies, and you gotta escort them across the map, and then you win. Great, $10 or whatever that was.
That sounds like money well spent.
Yeah. And then we played Portal Knights. It was actually a pretty good game.
I've heard things about that were not negative.
Yeah, like it's a pretty fun game. It has like a kind of like a kid game vibe to it, but it's not a kid game really. Like it's, I don't know, it was cool. And Sam was like constantly playing it, and he said it's just really relaxing to play. Like he was playing it for just hours.
It seemed like it's got some Minecrafty sort of elements to it by the looks of it, but it's also
kinda
sort of
like,
an RPG.
Remember that game, that Cube World game or whatever that guy stopped working on?
He's still working on it, by the way. It's
Yeah,
just that's never coming out ever.
It's
but
like
okay,
that, but finished and better.
right.
So, it was pretty cool. Like, if you enjoy those types of games, you would definitely enjoy that. Cause like everything's smooth. The graphics are really just nice to look at and be in. It was just like a nice little chill game. But that said, we tried doing 4-player and it kept crashing. And then we realized that 3 players, it's fine, and 4 players, the server freaks out and is like, and then just crashes. So that's a thing. So only play with 3 people.
Okay.
And then I think that was all the things we played. I also played Enter the Gungeon.
Great
I
game.
like Enter the Gungeon.
How far have you
That's
gotten
a
into
fun
the
game.
Gungeon?
I got halfway through the 2nd level. And
That's pretty average. That sounds about right.
That
Yeah.
sounds, yeah. That's,
I'm like, well, all right.
I need to
TB,
just
have
put
you
some more
gotten
time in
any
it.
further than the 3rd?
I've been busy on a bunch of other shit. I've got to the 3rd boss a few times, but I do mean to get further than that. It's a great game. I need to sit down and have the determination to fucking deal with how shit I am at it. God, it is astonishing how bad you can be at Enter the Gungeon. Like it just unlocks a new level of fucking awful inside you that other games just can't reach. It's kind of incredible. How far have you got, Dodger?
Same as you. I've fought the 3rd level boss a few times.
Jesus, that game is fucking difficult.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Really fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It
Even
is.
if you lose, you're like, you know what? I'm all right.
I had a
with
good
that.
time with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with Gungeon.
Yeah.
I finally got a silver dick in Huniecam. Can't seem to get.
Why are you playing that
How did
shitty
you only
game?
get I barely tried my 2nd attempt and got gold. Am I just better at getting dick than you?
I think Toast
Probably.
Woman got the like super diamond dick.
She did, because I remember her
Yeah.
tweeting out being like, I fucking hate myself, and then a
Yeah.
picture of her having all of the achievements. No, for me, I don't know how I missed this. I didn't realize that like literally everything comes down to how many fans you have at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that's
not
like
about
the
money.
only
It's about
stat
fans.
that matters. So I was like, oh fuck, okay, I need to switch up my strat then, I guess. So yeah.
I love how
I
this
missed
is week 3 of us talking about this game. This game
And
that
we
is
all
not
hate it.
great.
Why the hell are we
Yeah,
giving
I
it
had to
promotion?
switch up my strats here and see if I, can master.
up my Huniecam strats here
Fuck
and
that
try to
stupid
get
game.
the diamond dick.
I don't get why some people are like, this isn't the game I want. It's like, it's Huniecam, dude. Like, do you not like? I don't
Well, they
get,
wanted
like,
a game
someone's
that
like,
wasn't shit,
Not my
but with that
Huniecam.
theme. Is that unreasonable to ask for? Apparently.
Hashtag not my Huniecam.
Ah.
I think people just wanted more boobles. That's all.
Probably.
Yeah, they wanted to one hand play this game, and it made.
I mean, you can play this game with one hand. It's a clicker,
I guess
but
that's true. Yeah.
there
Yeah.
just isn't much to do with your other hand. Is a problem. I also played Chariot finally.
Yes, I finally got around to watching you do that. That was amusing. I have to admit that
PB
that
has
was what I hoped
recommended
for.
that game. He's recommended that game to Sam and I for a while, and we finally played it on stream. It's a game where you have 2 little doodles. It's a side scroller. You have 2 little doodles, and they have to drag around a coffin, basically a chariot, but the chariot has a coffin on it. And yeah, you have to get like all kinds of gems and stuff, but it's entirely teamwork based. And you wind up yelling at each other. I think there's no way to play that game without screaming
Yeah,
at each other.
this is exactly what I was hoping for. It was perfect. It was exactly what it should be. It's one of those cooperative games that do require that level of cooperation to the point where it just starts to strain your relationship a bit. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it escalated so badly. It went from like, oh, what are you doing, you silly goose, to like, you are a fucking idiot. What is happening? Like, so bad, like super aggressive. But it's fun. Yeah, it hurt my hand after a while, like having to hold down, because you have to hold down on stuff for quite a while. But
yes,
stuff meaning buttons. You have to hold buttons a lot.
Great.
But it's cute. That was a fun game.
Yeah, it's really neat. If you're looking for something that's actual co-op, like legitimate, you have to play it cooperatively, then Chariot is that. I don't think it has online, though. Just bear that in mind.
It doesn't. It's only local.
No, it's one of those local-only games, which is obviously a bit of a shame, but if you happen to have someone to play it with, then you will probably have a lot of fun with it.
You know, it's great rare replay. It makes playing those games really easy.
It does.
I did Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie Mega Stream.
Banjo-Tooie.
I beat Banjo-Kazooie in like 9 hours. And
Did you play
Banjo-Tooie... wait, what?
Battletoads?
I haven't played Battletoads yet. No.
Battletoads?
Battletoads?
Battletoads.
Yeah, Battletoads. You got that one.
Battletoads?
Banjo-Tooie I beat in 20 hours. It took a long time.
How long is that? Wait, if you're like speeding that game, how long does it take?
If you like speed it, you probably do like 12 hours. If you're not doing the like speedrunner version where they beat it super fast or whatever,
Right.
so they like glitch through part of it.
I had no idea that game was that long.
Because the first one did so well that they put a bunch of shit in the next one.
I guess
You have to like port between all the worlds, and all the worlds are also connected. So you'll do like level 4 and have to go back to level 1 and use a level 4 skill at level 1 to do a thing. So it's a lot of like moving around. So
Gotcha.
I got 2/3 the way through the game the first day, and I streamed like 10.5 hours, and I was like, I can't do it anymore.
I
can't do it. But I hit 500 subscribers and got more emotes, so I was like, I have to do it for the
What
people.
about
But
Viva
then I gave up because I was like, whatever. And then I
Viva
did it the next
Pinata is so fucking good.
Viva Pinata?
Yes.
There's
That's
so
like
many games.
the best game on that.
And now they're doing Ukulele, and that's the Kickstarter one they kickstarted. That's supposed to come out like the end of the year. And I emailed them and was like, hey guys, how you doing? And they were like, hey, how you doing? And now I'm like, hey.
Thanks. That definitely helps somehow. No,
about-
actually, no.
Perfect Dark? Did you play that? What about
Perfect Dark controls like shit. You've got to watch out for that.
What about Jet Force Gemini?
There's one that didn't even work when the Royale Replay first came out.
Holy shit,
I mean,
forgot about that game.
That game is great. I think they fixed the controls now, but when they first brought that out on Rare Replay, you couldn't even control it with a Xbox controller. So I was like, this is pointless.
Perfect Dark Zero? Did you play that? Crendor?
No, that's terrible.
No, I did not.
You know, actually, I'll say Perfect Dark Zero multiplayer split screen was fucking good, like, because they had all sorts of different modes and shit, but the actual game, if you've played that game has not aged well. It was a launch title of Xbox 360, it looks like shit.
I am horrified to play Rare Replay because I'm convinced that if I play one of the games, I now have to play all of them to get achievements, and I'm not okay with having all those unfilled achievements. When I play games, if I play a game on Xbox or PlayStation, it's one of those ones like I
Such
have
a
to be.
problem. Oh my god.
Why are you guys obsessed with meaningless made-up merit badges? Why don't you just
Because-
not?
I don't know.
Because I'd rather play it on Steam where it doesn't matter to me than on Xbox, or I'm like, I don't want to be that idiot who has a profile where he doesn't have any platinums. That's so dumb.
Oh my
That's so
God.
dumb.
It did that with Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, you beat a boss. I'm like, cool. I don't care.
Yeah.
My fear is that once you put that one
Achievement!
thing in, now you have to get all of them. Like, now in order to get this, you have to play these other games you would never play. Like, some of those games I just don't want to play. And it's like, yeah, well, you'll never get those.
I think the people that like achievements might be idiots. Just theory.
I understand the yeah, I achieved something that you
It's
get out
false! It's a pat on the head. It's a participation
Of course
trophy.
it is.
Yeah, well, some
They're
people
lying to you. You like to be lied to?
They have.
That's
the
what they do.
thing
They lie
Where
to you.
like you can do like the stop and swap thing in Banjo-Kazooie, which was intended for the Nintendo 64, where you like stop and like swap out the cartridges and gain like bonus stuff. But they made it so the Xbox version has it already built in. Everyone's like, you got to go do the thing, got to go do the thing. So I spent like an hour and a half trying to do this thing, and then it didn't work. And chat's
course
like, and then it turns out because it's just the Xbox version, I didn't have to do any of the like cheat codes or anything, and I could have just went and got it and saved like an hour. And I was like, wow, Wow, chat. wow, But it worked
Wow.
out.
asshole.
it worked out, man.
That Greg Miller, he's obsessed with those Achievos, those platinum trophies, and we all don't like him.
He ain't even that cool. He ain't even that cool.
He's obsessed with awards. That's all he wants. He just wants awards,
I
awards,
know-
awards.
look,
Always, all the
I know
time.
that guy. He ain't even that cool. I'm
No.
gonna truthfully, internet, Greggy ain't even
Tuning
that
to his show, like yesterday, it's like, yo, I have 47,000 platinum trophies. I was like,
cool. He ain't even that cool. Just saying. Just saying.
they couldn't shut up about it. It's like, there's trophies. I want the trophies. You're like the worst Eagle Scout in the world. Like, you're the guy who went after merit badges, not
Greg.
because he had any actual passion for the subject, but because he wanted more merit badges. That was you.
Look, you say that, but I don't know how to make a campfire.
Well, you can't have the platinum
Yeah, well,
trophy
you
for
could be
campfire
a Boy
making.
Scout.
No,
Yeah.
couldn't even
Yeah.
go. I'm too old now.
Yeah, you can't even be a brownie. I'll call you a brownie from now. Come on, brownie. That's your nickname. Brownie.
That sounds slightly racist considering.
No,
but never
Dodger's
mind.
name's Brownie from now on.
Okay.
I'll call you Brownie forever.
Problem solved.
Brownie, come on.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna go camping for the first time in
Can
my
you
life.
just sell cookies outside of grocery stores?
No, that's a gross way to live.
But
I
you
don't
haven't
even
gone.
like these cookies.
Have you not gone camping and yet you like lived in country Oregon?
I know. It's because like we basically just lived in the middle of the woods. So if we were gonna leave the woods, my parents were like, "Let's go hang out in a trailer or in a motorhome by the beach." Like,
Listen,
camping
you're
was
missing
not.
nothing. The last time I went camping
Camping sucks.
was like 6 years ago, and we went out into the woods, and literally within 25 minutes of us setting up the tent, getting like beer into coolers, a bunch of people came out of the woods and were like, "Hey, what y'all doing?" We were like, "We're leaving," is what we're doing. Yeah. So
Okay, I'm gonna go camping this year. I'm gonna go camping this year.
don't.
And then I'll report back.
It's
no,
shit.
you'll be lost. You'll be lost. They will
I'll be
You get
lost.
eaten by
I have
coyotes.
some questions.
kill people.
Please.
Come get
I grew
you.
up with
Who were
coyotes.
these
I'm
people?
fine.
Were these like camp rangers? Were these hill?
No. They
Goers.
walked out. All right, so this was back in Ohio, and we went to a place that was like, it was
Oh my god, how long ago was this?
like 6-7 years. This was a while ago. This is when I was still teaching, and so like I've never been camping since because it scarred me. We went out there, and it was myself and this girl that I was seeing at the time, and like 2 other couples. We went out to this camp thing, and I swear to God, it was like we go to this area of this campground. We're like, let's go more away from people so we can like act like idiots and get drunk and be stupid. And we set up our tent. We get a cooler out. We have our cars like around the one side of it so no one can like really pester us. We think we've set up the best place. And there's woods behind the tent. Out of the woods, maybe 25 minutes into us being done setting up everything, like 6 people dressed like they have lived in the woods their entire life walk out of the woods, look us up and down, and they're like, "What are y'all doing?" We're just like, "What are you doing? Where did you come from?" We asked them no questions. We were like, "Oh, just packing up to head home." We just like got in our fucking car and went to the opposite end of the campground because it was so weird and scary. And I was like, nope, I'm not feeling this. And ever since then, we've had a joke. There's just hill people who live in the hills who go and like to campgrounds and chill out with people there. Like that's their thing. It's probably true. They're probably like moonshiners or like weird backwoods people, which is cool. That's your thing. But don't scare people because that was weird as shit. And I've never gone camping again because I was convinced we'd wake up in the night and they'd be over us ready to slash our throats. I was
Like
done.
you're getting raided
Yes.
by barbarians.
Yes, they came out of the woods. They were like, hey, how y'all doing? We're just like,
Well, I mean, if you eliminate them, you could possibly get a random technology or some gold. So you might want to do that.
Yeah. Thanks, civilization.
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me. Do not go camping. Camping is where people die. Where people die.
I'm going camping this year.
I like how you said it for this year. I'm going camping this year.
At some point.
I'm not gonna
It
say like
could
within
happen.
the next month because fuck, we know that's not gonna happen. But like this year, I'm gonna make an effort to go camping.
Not even. Don't do it.
Extremely
Don't do it. I don't
impressive.
have to go to your funeral. I don't want to have to go to your funeral and
Do it.
pretend like you're
No,
Yeah,
you'll
fuck
have
that. That'll
to
take ages.
come
No.
visit me in prison because I'll be the one who murdered everybody.
No, I'm gonna go to your funeral and I'm gonna explain to your mom and dad why you got killed by hill people. And I'm gonna be like, I told her not to go.
It's not my fault.
I told her not to go. If anything, she brought it on herself. I'm gonna have to tell your parents that you brought your own death on yourself. There'll be no sympathy. I'll be like, look, she was just stupid and went camping.
To be fair, if it happens, that's how it's gonna happen.
Kill you.
Like it'll be her fault.
Yeah,
She'll be the one that makes that mistake.
Yeah.
I gotta live my life. I can't be governed by fear.
False.
You know.
Or common sense.
You can't. Fear is very healthy to be alive.
Fear is phenomenal. Are you kidding me? Survival instincts. Those are good things.
Why the fuck are we talking about this?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't know. Moving on. Played a little bit of HEX Shards of Fate this morning. That's that new
Is that good? I just
CCG.
saw that.
I mean, it's literally Magic the Gathering. At least, like, mechanically, it is anyway. It was so Magic the Gathering that they got sued a while ago for being Magic the Gathering. But then they changed a few things. They settled and made a couple of changes, which included changing the health of the heroes to something that isn't 20. I'm actually deadly serious. Like, that was part of the settlement. All of the heroes have, like, 21 or 19 or 22 HP. Apparently, they can't all be 20 because that's too like Magic the Gathering. There's a bunch of other shit. But I did the tutorial, and I've played a little bit of it. What's interesting about it is not the fact that it's exactly like Magic the fucking Gathering. It's that it's got a PvE mode, and it also has dungeons and raids in it, which is kind of cool. So you can build a character, and you can put equipment on your character that'll buff up different kinds of cards, and then you do, like, dungeon encounters, and the further you get through, the more rewards you get and shit, and there's raids you can do with, like, 2 other people, I think. So you can get 3 of you together to fight this raid boss, kind of like WoW TCG. It's also got, like, a full auction house and trading system. Like, it's fully featured. Like, unlike, say, Hearthstone, where it's like, you can't trade, you can't do this, you can't do that. Hex has kind of got all of that, but mechanically, it is very, very similar to Magic. Identical, pretty much, in almost every respect. So, we'll see. I'll play a little bit of it. I'm more interested in the PvE mode than the PvP. Like, I like this whole idea of dungeon running and shit like that, but apparently you can do drafting and all sorts of other things. So, I don't know. We'll see. It seems okay. I'm not massively impressed by the fucking size of the text. Like, the card text is so fucking small you can't read it. So, that I find a little bit annoying. I don't know if Hex is going to deliver to you, but it might.
Hex gonna give it to you.
Hex is actually going to demand money from you for the most part.
And deliver it on Thursday at a reasonable hour between noon and 5 p.m.
Yeah. It's a very, very traditional feeling card game. Like, if you want Magic the Gathering, but you think the Magic the Gathering game on PC is shit, which I don't blame you for, because it kind of is, then Hex might be worth a look.
Oh, they're just like shitty client that is always shitty.
Oh yeah, the Magic client. Yeah, it's a lot better
so
than
bad.
that. Yeah, lot.
They've just never figured it out
No, they haven't.
somehow.
So I'll be looking at it eventually. It's just, what I've played of it so far. It's like, this is Magic the Gathering. Yeah, pretty much in every way. But there is what is it? Yes, I believe there's a card called the Rigid Buffalo, which I found interesting.
How rigid is the buffalo?
It's pretty. I mean, it's a 2/3, so it's relatively rigid, I would say. It's a relatively
it's
rigid
pretty
buffalo,
rigid.
I think.
Right, go
Yeah,
on.
pretty rigid buffalo.
Sure.
Yeah. So outside of that, you do have colored mana in it, by the way. People say, you don't have colored mana, but yeah, you kind of do, you kind of don't. There's different kind of, you do have colored mana. There's different colored shards. There's different gem shards that you play. It's like, this is a diamond shard. This is a fucking ruby shard, blah, blah. They're different colors. So I don't know. Maybe people played an earlier version. Maybe I just don't fully understand the mechanics, but there's definitely colored mana. Absolutely colored mana. Outside of that, Dead Star I played. It was Jesse, you've been pushing this game for quite a little while, so
I
I got
enjoy the hell out of it. So
yeah, I can see what you do. It's pretty good. I noticed that everybody I end up in matches with is on PlayStation.
that's good for you.
I mean, yeah, it does help a little bit. Although it is like a twin stick shooter, so playing with keyboard and mouse is a bit weird because like it moves you in the direction of the button that you're pressing. It's not like turning around. So it's like it's emulating a twin stick. You can still do it. You probably best play on a controller, but you can definitely do it. It's a multiplayer sort of 10 versus 10 or 5 versus 5 space game, top down. You just start with a little outpost base. And then go and capture more outposts, and you can destroy asteroids for resources, and you can bring them back to the outposts, and if you reach a certain amount of resources, they upgrade the outpost for you, and the win condition is either kill the enemy outpost or have enough control over the level where the big giant cannon at the end fires and blows up the enemy base, and it's all done in about 15 minutes, 15-minute matches. You can fly 3 different types of ship. You can fly a fighter, you can fly kind of like a raider, which is sort of a little frigate thing, and then you can... Actually, the other thing is a frigate, so let's not call it that. Raider, it's kind of bigger, fatter ship, and then the frigate, which is this huge fucking ship. And obviously the frigate... It's a frigate.
It's like battleshipy.
Yeah, it's more frigate. You know what a frigate is?
Yeah, just repeat the word.
Yeah, it's a frigate. You don't know. How do you know what a frigate is? It's a frigate.
I don't know what a frigate
No,
is.
your naval terminology is apparently not up to
frigates
snuff.
in it.
It's frigates, man. It's frigates.
I know this will shock you. I don't play tactical games with ships in them.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus.
Unbelievable.
God,
Frigate.
I knew there's a reason I didn't like you. Anyway,
There's
so you
something
can
shifty about you.
something I couldn't quite put my finger on. It's that lack of naval terminology, the naval nomenclature.
Email. It's going to be like, Dear TotalBiscuit, how dare you criticize Dodger for lack of knowledge on frigates? She is just a smart woman with intelligence, and she doesn't need to know what a frigate is. Thank you.
Hashtag frigate shaming. I'm not
Frigate
a fan.
shaming.
Also, make more Terraria.
Hashtag
fuck
not my
off.
frigate.
Not my frigate.
Not my frigate.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So you can pick one of the 3 ship classes. You can pick whichever one right from the start. I thought maybe you'd have to like earn points to get the bigger ships, but you don't. You can actually play the bigger ship right off the bat. But the bigger ship is a lot fucking slower. If you play a fighter, which is probably the most my favorite thing, you can literally just like fly rings around the bigger ships, which is pretty cool. So they kind
You
of
can
balance that
augment
way.
what each of them does too. So it isn't just like the fighter, for example. You can have one that like shoots exhaust out its ass that like slows down enemies.
Like a plasma exhaust thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Great.
cool. There's a lot of little things into it. I
There's
love
little types. You can get upgrades. You can unlock different skins. Like there's loot after every match, which is just like skins and components to upgrade your ship for the next fight. And there's this rare drop, which I find interesting, which gives you a special game mode. You can only play the game mode if you get this contract, and it's about escorting this kind of not so crude capital ship. And if you escort it, you get like rare loot at the end apparently. And it's possible for players to like come and try and destroy the ship and all that kind of thing, which is
basically
neat.
blow your way into another game. Like,
yeah.
you're having fun? Well, now I'm in it and ruining your fun.
Yeah, it's an
seems
interesting
cool.
little idea. It is basically a multiplayer twin stick for all intents and purposes. I will say I would like it to be a bit more complex than it is. Like, the upgrades are very linear. It's like more damage, more health, more damage. And it would be nice maybe for more ship types and just a few other things to do on the map other than attack outpost or, like, mine, I guess. But it's still pretty fun, actually. I like it quite a lot. I've had a good amount of fun with it so far. It's pretty fun. And the cross-compatibility seems to work flawlessly, which is great. So if there are no PC players, it doesn't matter, because I think it was given away like this month or last month on PlayStation Plus, so there's a shitload of PlayStation guys you can kill. So that's cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Dead Star, not too bad.
It's a cool, fun game. It was the game at PAX South. Like, the line for it was ludicrously long. So I definitely recommend it if you check it out. I know that today I definitely plan on playing more. So
Yeah, I'll definitely play a little bit more as well.
Sick.
Seems like the way to go. I played a bunch of Stories Path of Destinies yesterday, which is...
I still need to start that.
Stories, Path of Destinies.
Yeah,
It's the
so
one where you're a fox and you've got like
you're a fox.
Oh, that's right.
that one. I didn't know what else to say. It's just like stop
You're a
that.
fox.
You're a fox.
The fox.
That game.
Yeah,
Obviously.
you're a sort of swashbuckling fox thing, and you go through these different levels. You're trying to defeat the Raven Empire and its evil transcendent Toad Emperor, of course. And
Asshole.
The interesting thing about it is that you can't win the first playthrough. You fuck up. Like, I think almost every ending you do, you fuck up in some way. And probably, like, destroy the universe or do something horrible, basically die horribly.
That's right. The premise is like there's one good ending. Everything else is
Everything is bad. Yeah, everything else is like bad. There's 23 bad endings and one good ending, and you rewind time after you fuck up, and it unlocks different paths for you, and your character progression is persistent. So you've got the skills and the weapons that you had from previously. The narration is wonderful. It's got like a Bastion-style narrator.
I like the narration a lot.
It's the best part of the game. Easily the best part of the game, no doubt. And the problem I've got with it is I don't think the combat's very good. Like, I don't think combat's very responsive. It seems to ignore inputs sometimes. It's very, very basic. It's like, we're gonna do the Arkhams. I was like, oh god, not again. Like, can someone not do the Arkhams? Can we have one game that doesn't do the fucking Arkhams? Because I'm quite frankly done with that shit. But outside of that...
Zip to each.
Yep, zip here, boing, bounce, 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 counter bounce, bounce, bounce. It's like, get the combo meter up high.
Song.
Counter bounce, bounce, bounce.
Bounce, counter bounce, bounce, bounce.
And then drop the beat at that point.
Drop the bounce.
Drop the combo. Yeah, I don't like the combat. Again, I find it pretty slow, unresponsive, not particularly well put together. But the story is fucking awesome, and I love the idea that every ending seems to be terrible. It's like, you fucked up again! Like, can you do it better next time? It's like, oh, okay. Apparently, it's not possible to get the true ending until 4 playthroughs. Wow. And the playthroughs are about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
I was
literally about to ask how long it takes.
Not that long. And it's not like
the video thing, like it like pauses every time you hit a thing.
Yes, it does. It's not.
It does like a weird slowdown.
Yeah,
that's.
And
weird.
there are other games that have done that. It's just this one didn't do it anyway. It was well. That's the problem.
I think it's to give you a chance to because it lets you
change the combo.
swap. It lets you swap who you're focusing on in case somebody's like behind you about to attack you. You can be like, oh shit, and you can stop that guy.
Yes.
From hitting you.
It's definitely that. I would like the game to have a hell of a lot better combat and a lot more weapon variety, because, like, there's, like, 4 or 5 swords you can get. They all do exactly the same fucking thing, except that they open different colored gates. So they're like keys, kind of Metroidvania. So, like, the fire sword opens the fire gate and all that sort of thing. And they have, like, a right trigger ability. Like, the fire sword blows everyone up in a radius or whatever. But all the moves are the same otherwise. And the swords do the same fucking thing. So the combat's definitely the weakest part of it. The story is awesome. The narration is fantastic. The characters are really funny. It's just a shame that that kind of combat meat of the game is not as good. If you can tolerate the combat, though, the game is, you know, really interesting.
Cool. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's got a nice aesthetic to it. I'll definitely give it that. Yeah, so
did any of you wind up... Sorry, I'm just... because we mentioned games with foxes in them. Yes. Did any of you wind up playing the typing game? The fox typing game?
Epistory?
No.
Epistory, yeah.
I did. I love that game. I don't know why, as just like an educator, I think that's how I would teach kids how to type.
I played the demo and it was really... I don't know, there was something really like... I don't know.
Charming? Is that the word you're looking for?
Charming about it. I think that is the word I'm looking for.
I followed them on Twitter and they gave me a code, so I'll play.
You're basically a...
What's the name of this game?
Epistory?
EPI story.
Okay.
So, yeah, you basically are this little girl, I believe, and you have a little fox, and you go around and you learn spells and magics and things that you do by typing. And so weird crap comes after you, and you just type. It's like a typing game, and you
the typing RPG.
Yeah, it's
dope.
cool.
That's neat. It's. I'm just trying to find footage of it that isn't Kotaku's. Let's see.
It's gotta have a trailer out for sure.
I mean, you'd think so.
The demo was out for a while.
Yeah, the main problem is it was early access for a while, so like the trailer's probably from like 2 fucking years ago. Oh, there we go. GameSpot's finally stopped putting its fucking logo on trailers it doesn't own, so that's nice. We can use that.
I know.
I hated that. back in the day.
Advantage of the YouTube thing where they can have their logo in the bottom, but it's not on the actual video, which is nice.
I think it's also down to some developers saying, "What the fuck are you doing branding our trailer?" It's like, stop that. It was really annoying when we used to try and find footage. It's like, oh, this is a GameSpot exclusive trailer. We're gonna brand it. Like, fuck you. You don't own this. But yeah, here's the trailer. Yeah, the fucking art style for this is phenomenal. I would play this because I'm
really
not a
cool.
bad typer. This could be my Dark Souls. This could be my fucking moment.
This could be my moment.
This could be my moment. I'm riding a motherfucking fox and typing like a furious beast. This will be wonderful.
Yeah, I want to play this game.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Again, this is another thing I played at PAX South and loved. PAX South, for people who don't go, is so cool. And
A
you're
lot of
missing
cool
out.
little indies, yeah?
You're missing out. It's all indie games. Yeah, it's great.
That's pretty much what I'm doing at PAX East. There's nothing but indies. Like, I went through the list of, like, hundreds of developers emailed. It's like, hey, here's our game, blah, blah, blah. And then I picked the ones that looked interesting and said, yeah, let's do it. There's one game, I think I showed you guys in the chat earlier, or yesterday in Skype, where it has a full control system. It's this, like, space game with, like, fucking dials and levers and, like, it's a big cockpit kind of thing. I'm gonna go play that. That sounds fucking awesome. I love that idea. It's like, hey, it's like Silent Hunter in space with giant
Innovative
levers.
indie games are blowing me away lately. I've
Yeah.
played so many over the last few days that I'm just like, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what is coming
I
up.
agree. I absolutely agree that, you know, the offerings of the last few months from AAA have generally been fairly, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's all summed up by The Division, in my eyes. It's like, that's what AAA games are now, The Division. Some giant fucking AAA shiny loot grind thing that I don't care about.
That game was a great subpar game that I never played.
Great subpart.
Gmart was like, come on, let's play The Division. And then me and Benji joined him. And then after like playing 2 hours, I was like, all right, well, I don't think I'm going to ever play that again.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same. I did like...
Bye.
I did like 10 for the video and spent way too much time filming shit for a port report that never came out because it was broken as shit in many ways. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't like games like this anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know when it happened, but at some point, I got bored to shit of the way that AAAs generally do their games. And, you know, it's not like Ubisoft can't do something more interesting because they released Rainbow Six Siege last year, which was fucking incredible. You know, that's an amazing game. And then they released Division. It's like, this is boring. Like, there's nothing interesting going on here.
Yep.
I just want
I think
something fun.
We've had this conversation a couple of times now, but I think it does in some ways come down to the fact that all of us really appreciate more compact games at this point.
Yeah. Also, we've played way too many games.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
has
there's a
that
big element of that.
MMORPG feel of like everything takes 8 years to die. Gain experience and
Oh
loot.
man, but if I just grind for 8 more hours, then I'll get this one thing. And
Oh man,
Yeah,
I was
I can't
watching
do it
footage
anymore.
from the so-called incursion or whatever, and there was this guy like hitting for 350,000 damage or whatever, and this guy in a fucking beanie in the head. And he's like, I'm okay. Fuck this.
No problems.
This is silly.
No problems. What the fuck? It makes no sense.
Rainbow Six Siege is really fun.
Rainbow Six Siege is fucking awesome. I think a lot of it actually might be down to the way that these kind of last couple of years, everything's gone down the path of we have to have this giant progression system in it, like, and we've got to build it in some way that you're going to be playing it for millions of hours. Like, you know what? There were games that I played for millions of hours that didn't have that previously because they were just good games. So there's that. Although I also played Doom. Did any of you play the Doom multiplayer beta?
I
over the
did
last-
not
I
play
did
the
not.
beta for Doom.
You know,
I heard it was like, all right.
I heard a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah. It was.
I don't know what I expected. Because I think I went into it expecting like a Quake, you know, Quake Live or Quake 3. And, you know, when you think about it, if you look back to Doom 3 barely even had multiplayer. Like, that wasn't really a thing. So you expected, because the last Doom multiplayer you played was probably Doom 2, which was like 20 fucking years ago. It's like, oh, it's going to be like Quake Live or whatever. It's like, well, this is a lot slower. This is basically Halo, because it's made by the guys that made the multiplayer for Halo 5, I think. So it's very, very similar. I mean, I remember playing Doom 2 and it being a lot faster than this, although obviously, you know, it was on a kind of flat playing for the most part, but it was a lot quicker than this. It was a lot more frantic. I don't remember them being a progression system. I don't remember there being hack modules. Oh, fucking hack modules. There is literally these drops you can get at the end of every match that give you a temporary bonus next match, and one of them is a literal wall hack. It's under the name Wall Hack. It says, it's called Retribution. It's like, we will locate the person that just killed you through a motherfucking wall so you can go find him after he's killed you. I'm like, what the shit is this Call of Duty bullshit? Like, this is nonsense. I think it's from Halo. Apparently, they had it's also kind of like a Titanfall. Titanfall had a similar thing like that. The burn cards, kind of like that.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, burn cards. You could
the different cards that give you upgrades and shit.
Yeah, and Halo 5 had something like that as well. What really fucking gets me about Doom, outside of anything else, is that you start with a weapon loadout of 2 weapons. Like, you don't go and pick your weapons up. You start with the rocket launcher and the fucking lightning gun or the super shotty, whatever you pick. And there's only one weapon pickup on the map, and it's called the Gauze Rifle. And it spawns like every few minutes, and it's like a 4-shot weapon that basically insta-kills anything it hits. And that's the only fucking gun drop. It's like,
they need to change that.
It's
on
like,
the ASAP. The whole fun is starting with nothing
and getting something.
Like, fighting people for like the cool drops and shit. Yes. Yeah. That needs to be changed.
That's what Quake and Doom was about. You start with the fucking shitty little shotgun or pistol and your little chainsaw or your knuckle duster or whatever, and then you go and you find a gun, and knowing where that gun is and getting there before the other dude is part of the fucking fun. It's part of the scramble. And they've taken that out completely. And, and don't get me started on the fucking demon rune. Oh, Jesus Christ. There is something called the demon rune. It appears every few minutes. You become a demon if you pick it up, and you get like 600 health, and you do instant kills on everything you hit in the you fire a rocket like kind of over here, and this thing over here is dead. You know, it's just like...
Why can't it just be Doom, but look nicer?
Apparently because consoles, I guess...
That is a deep question. That is a deep, unanswerable question.
It has instant melee as well. Fuck instant melee. You get your super shotty, you shoot your super shotty, like, yeah, hit him with a shotgun. And then what do? You tap them with the back of your gun. And then they fall over, or they explode. It's like,
I think people have said that, like, people have said that with a lot of games. Like, why can't it just be like the old game, but better? And it's like, I don't know, because they feel the need to just randomly change stuff for no reason.
Well, like, I don't know. I get it with remakes, right? Like the argument about Final Fantasy VII Remake, when they're like, all right, we're changing stuff because if we're going to take the time to remake the game, like, why don't we try some new stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you want the old game, go play the old game, but we're going to like try out a couple new things. Yeah. And change some stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I
but
agree.
like, if we're going to make a newer Doom, like a newer Doom game, a newer part of the franchise, like, like at least let it be Doom. I don't know.
I don't even know what I expected or what I wanted, but it definitely wasn't this. I can tell you that.
This is the multiplayer, though, yes? Like,
Yes.
there should be a real game in there somewhere, yes?
One should hope so. The thing is, like, the developer of the multiplayer is not the same as the developer of the single player. It's developing the single player, and Certain Affinity, who are the guys behind Halo 5, is developing the multiplayer. So they're probably two completely different games. The chances are the Doom campaign is hopefully good. I hope they get rid of that yellow piss filter over the camera. That would be nice. Don't like that.
The old piss filter.
That old piss filter, yeah. But it's like, whatever I wanted out of Doom, and, 20 years down the line, it was not this. I can tell you that. This was not what I was after. And I don't know if it's going to stick around, honestly. I don't think people are going to play all that much of it. It's okay. It's solidly meh. There's nothing that stands out as being great.
I was never going to play the multiplayer anyway, so for me, this isn't a big loss.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, hopefully this is zero indication of what the actual single-player campaign's like.
Shouldn't be.
Because that's all I'm gonna
shouldn't
end
be.
up
If it's a separate fucking studio making it, it shouldn't be. But who knows at this point?
You know what I'm excited about?
Uh-huh.
Next week, the Hearthstone expansion comes out.
Oh, yes.
And we can do a pack-off!
Yeah, pack-off time.
Third
Spend
annual
hundreds of
pack-off.
dollars on imaginary fucking cards. Yeah.
some reason,
No way.
whenever we do the pack off, we get like 1 billion viewers.
Yeah.
Like more than anything.
Basically, people like to sit in the chat either being jelly, or salty, or just like, I want to watch someone else spend their fucking money on useless bullshit.
Jesse, do you want to do a competing pack off?
Yes, you and I, we can pack off.
Yeah,
oh
let's
my
pack
god. I'm
You
gonna
will
pack
fail.
off all over the
That's
internet.
I bet you don't have the balls. I bet you don't have the balls to get all of them. I bet you don't have the balls to
Yeah.
keep buying those packs, even
Don't
though
do
there's
it.
only one card you're missing. I bet you don't have the
Sugar.
balls.
I'm in. We'll pack off.
You ready?
Pack
Pack
off.
off?
dude.
Pack
All
off.
right,
The TV
Pack
Crendor pack off
we're doing it.
Pack off.
is far
Pack
better.
off?
We're doing it.
It's far superior. Ours have been going on for two expansions now.
Two
This is the
expansions
third
now,
one.
yeah.
We have mastered the craft. It's polished.
I mean,
It's
to be
wonderful.
fair, the pack off is really slow because he does this stupid ritual every time he opens a pack.
Like
I just
shake
open the packs.
Advil, right? You shake the Advil and that gives you luck.
I like how you've had that. This is my
Dude,
2-year-old.
okay. One time, I lit a candle and I summoned Jaraxxus to help me open packs. And then I was like, if this is true, I will get an Alakir the Windlord. And I got an Alakir the Windlord in that pack. And that is the greatest moment of my life.
Jesus Christ.
You're an idiot.
Oh, wait, that was with Oprah. Because Oprah was on the Starbucks cup, and I used the cup to open the pack. And so Oprah is against good pack openings. Just thought you should know that.
I'm
We won't
never
do
going to
that.
bring
We
you to
won't do any of
Vegas. Ever.
We won't do any of that. We
Yeah.
will not do that. We will take our free 50 pack and open that only, and then go to bed.
See,
Then
you
we'll
want to
be-
watch that? Boring. That
Yeah,
sounds
that's
extremely
fucking bullshit. We're
boring.
going to open like 400
Back
packs.
off.
Yeah.
Fuck
We're
these
gonna
guys.
do- We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a beautiful wall. We're going to build it around
Oh, Christ.
them and their pack opening. We're going to block them off. We're going to send them to China.
Sure.
Send them to China.
Right.
I hear Hearthstone's big over there.
It is. It's pretty big. I
If
mean,
anything, you're helping us out.
they
We'll
will
have a
mourn
great wall.
together
We'll have
with
a
us.
Greater wall. We'll have the greater wall.
As great as Trump jokes are. Pee, go pee.
You're not going to let me talk about the tragedy of 7-Eleven that he was talking about today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Gulp. All right.
7-Eleven.
I love it. I love it. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. You watch the Co-Optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere, please. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast.
I'm at my sitting part of my desk.
Ah, you did it.
I did
Well
it,
done.
dude.
You gave up. You literally gave up.
Hold on, I'm in Clash Royale right now.
Yeah? You going to lose?
Hug. No.
Oh.
Ugh.
He's going to lose.
Are you gonna lose?
He's doing the stupid building build. What a dumb build.
Do you have Rocket?
No.
Well, you fucked that, probably. Do you have a good fireball? Nope, then you fucked that.
No. That's alright. Hold on, we're gonna flood him. There's only a minute left. I got this shit, dude.
You're
Don't
fucked.
mind me.
You can die.
Don't mind me.
All right, well, that's great. So, what are we going to talk about now?
We talk about the fact that I played a song called Down the Sewer from Frogger His Back featuring Swiggles RP just to annoy people for 1 minute 25 seconds.
Yeah, everyone in chat was like, what the hell was that?
It was beautiful, is what it was. Absolutely beautiful. And the people was like, never play that again. It's like, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? Piece of shit.
We should just take a moment and play it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to play it right now, actually. Here we go. There we go. Cool. It's playing right now.
Please
Excellent.
not
There we go.
do that doesn't make me feel good.
There you go. Right. You happy now, you son of bitches? Yeah?
I need to
Think so.
listen to it. I don't
All right.
know.
I would like, after insulting you, I would like you to buy my goddamn shirts, though. I will say that. We have a 10% off sale coming up tomorrow on tinyurl.com/banepool. So if you want to check that out on the 20th of, it's on 420, I believe. April the 20th.
Wait, are we doing shameless promotion?
Yeah, shameless promotion. Go for it.
Cool. I have an awesome shameless promotion. So, for those who don't know, right now, if you use code WINGS2016, you get 10% off when you buy both the Zombie Dragon and Space Butterfly plushies together, running through PAX Weekend. Free
Do it.
shipping
Buy my
on
stuff.
the purchase.
Crendor did
10%
not
off.
even know. Crendor was
10% off.
surprised by that.
You're not that good at this promotion because you haven't told them where to go to do that.
I would say go to makershit.com. That's where I would go.
Nick-
You do have that URL still. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Makeshit.com. Buy them both. Buy them
Yeah.
both.
No, you have to.
Also,
If you buy both, you get 10% off all the purchase plus free shipping. The Zombie Dragon and the Space Butterfly together at last in your collection.
But you have to put the coupon code in at checkout.
Code
Oh,
is
dude.
Wings 2016.
Also, Juan C. Zapata, you suck. Your build is dumb. And just get rid of this game. You don't... Just, it's stupid.
Now,
Juan C. Cepeda.
if you are running into a bunch of those building builds, you need to take fucking Rocket or something.
I'll put a Rocket in it. As soon as I take Rocket, they're going to do a non-building build.
Well, you've played Hearthstone. You know how this is. Like, sometimes you run up against a deck that you're just not great against. You just deal with it.
That's why it's a dumb deck. They should just quit.
Real talk. Hearthstone got me to play last night because I want that card back that is the, I think it's Cthulhu. One of the card backs. I was like, I want my old guard card back. So I played until I got to 20. I got to 20 and then I was like, well, enough of this for April.
Yeah, enough of that for another month.
Shut it down.
I've got a confession to make.
Last time I played Hearthstone.
I haven't played it in weeks, but actually months, come to think of it, but I did log in yesterday on iOS because you can get an exclusive hero. You can get Khadgar as part of Earth Week.
Oh,
Save the Earth by buying a $5 JPEG, but at least it all goes to WWF, not the wrestling. The pandas. So
it goes to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's gonna go wrestle some pandas.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Panda 316 says I just whipped your ass.
I play the Tavern Brawls every week. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I do that.
The Overwatch Tavern Brawl. Oh my god, that one Overwatch Tavern Brawl. They made it so all the cooldowns are
It's just a brawl. There's no tavern, but it's just a brawl.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that was just Genji and Hanzo?
No, it's arcade.
They've had a bunch.
This one's called arcade. Literally everything, the cooldowns are massively reduced. All the every ability you can use instantly over and over and over and over again. It is
That sounds
amazing.
awesome.
So I went Reinhardt. I think I had the most fun I've ever had in Overwatch. I went Reinhardt, and I just kept slamming people into walls.
Charge. I watch you play that. It's just like, I would charge over and over and over again.
Easily the most fun I've
and then people started countering stuff. Like, people would, as we were playing, people were figuring out things. And so one person decided that because everything was infinite, all you had to do was be Pharah and constantly fly above everyone and shoot people. So you had to keep switching. And so I found, like, the best player, Zarya, was infinitely powerful. Her shield was always up, which means her weapon is always supercharged, which means she can charge everyone else. So literally, that's how we won our final game. It's just Zarya pushing, like, come get me, comrade, and just murdering people. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a great game mode.
At first, I was pissed because the first time I played it, everyone was being diva and just exploding all the time. Then people figured out, like, all right, well then, F them. We're just going to put our shields up and march forward. And then so everyone was like, we're going to be Bastions. And Crendor Gmart are just running people off cliffs. And then they were sandwiching people. Like, especially, it was so good. They were like, Slam Witch! It was a ton of fun.
I would play a mode that was just that. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. That was a blast. That game, the more I play, the more I'm like, I'm ready. Because I played this weekend when they had the everyone could come play weekend.
Oh yeah, we're allowed to talk about it now because people won't whine because they had a chance to fucking play it.
Yes.
They'll still whine
this
anyway.
Weekend, it felt like I can't wait for early access on May 3rd. May 3rd, everybody, wink. I can't wait because I'm like, I'm gonna get so many effing wins and levels.
Oh yeah.
It was so, I didn't lose once. Except
Let
for
me buy the fucking skins. Why would they do that? Why can't we buy the skins yet?
They will. Chill.
Let me buy my fucking Winston skin. Jesus. I'm going crazy over here.
Why would you want to spend the money now when they're going to wipe everything?
You have a point.
Yeah. I
Wait.
mean, it's all getting wiped.
Yeah.
Which again blows my mind when I see people who are like, I'm 3-star bronze. I was like, how many fucking games do you play?
It's
I will say,
crazy.
though,
We
it
keep running
means
into people that are like, we're level 157. Like, how? How?
Here's the thing. It means nothing. I have played with more than enough people who have been bronze. I think I saw a silver guy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's people in the 300 and 400 levels.
They're not all good.
Like,
It just means they play a lot.
No, they're not. They're not necessarily good. It just means you've played more.
Yeah. And so when you get matched against them, I'm like, oh no, these people suck. They're just as bad as me, and that's why they're matched with them. I'm like, oh, this will be
Yeah, because they're not matched off that level. They're matched off at MMR.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's kind of like in Final Fantasy 14, they have mentorship now, which is like your name gets like a little crown next to it. And literally all it means is that you have fully leveled up a tank, DPS, and a healer. And at first I was like, oh, a mentorship program. Like, are they, like, they must be really knowledgeable about the game. And everybody's like, no, they've just played it a fuckload. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean they're good at anything. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
I-
Overwatch.
I I got into a game and a guy was like he had 3 bronze little stars under his name. So he's at least like, I think that's like 300s. I don't know how high that is, but I was like, oh shit, dude, I'm just gonna let you carry this. Like joking. He's like, oh no, man, I suck. Don't worry. I just play a lot. He picked Widowmaker, and I've never seen someone miss so much with Widowmaker. And I was like, you know what? You weren't lying. You were, thank you. You were super truthful. Thanks, dude. Like, all right, cool. Yeah, every time I play it, I fall more and more in love. And here's the thing. They released the Tracer trailer for Heroes of the Storm today, right?
They did, yeah.
And it hit me while watching this trailer, even though you may hate her voice. It hit me while watching this trailer. The characters in Overwatch, this Tracer, this one character, who we really know nothing about, has more character than anyone else in Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm, she like zips around, is looking at all stuff, she's having a great time, and you're like, wow, all the other like Blizzard characters are really boring compared to the Overwatch.
They're far too serious about everything.
Yeah, they're like, there's so much
They do
boring
take
compared
themselves
to...
very seriously.
Yes, and it hit me while watching. I was like, yeah, no, Overwatch. The reason why people love it so much is like you connect with these
Shit
characters.
has character.
Yes, in a way that I'm like, wow, your other games, it really shows what's lacking in them. And I was like, oh god. I saw that trailer today and was like, Tracer is so like wonderful and cute. And I was like, this is a great trailer. All the other trailers were boring as shit. Like maybe it's just because his character is great and all the Overwatch characters are great. And I was like, no wonder I love this game so much. I dig it 1,000%.
It's like Teemo. I connect with Teemo on a personal level, and we go way back.
Mm.
Yeah, War didn't choose me. I chose War.
Yep.
All right, so anyone else got any other games that they've been playing before we move on to the news and the sort of pre-packed stuff? Nope.
Yeah, no.
Cool. Did none of you played the Battleborn open beta?
No.
I know. Didn't Force's team win the tournament or something that they were doing?
Oh my god, go
Yeah.
Force.
Yeah, Force's team with Sinvictor and a bunch of other people played, and hopefully that's kind of getting that game to the point where people understand what it's about. I still think they need to sort out the fucking color vomit on the screen. Like, there's way too many fucking colors and shit going on, but I still think that game's awesome, and I hope people get it. You know, they understand it. It's not Overwatch. It's not the same fucking game at all. It's a hell of a lot of fun in and of its own right, so hopefully people get a chance to finally get their hands on it and sort of understand why we like it. Because we do. We really fucking do. And I hope it doesn't fucking die within the first week.
Yeah, literally the only complaint I have is what you brought up is like, what, like as a person watching someone else play, it's like, what the fuck is
It's
happening?
dizzying.
What is going on?
Dizzying, yeah.
It feels that way playing it too.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's awesome. Like it's a really cool game. But yeah, the color vomit, aptly put, is just like
screen's too busy most of the time. Like they just need a way of reducing those particle effects and all sorts of things like that. Apparently, it did hit the Steam pre-order top 10 at some point over the course of the beta, so it looks like people are starting to get behind it. But obviously, it's got a very large mountain to climb because people are comparing it to Overwatch completely, even though it's not Overwatch at all. We'll see. I don't want another Dawn Gate or Monday Night Combat. You know, I don't want it to die. It's a good game, you know? This is why people make Doom 4. Because apparently if you make anything different, people don't fucking play it. Stop it. We like different things. We're all bored with video games. We want new, interesting video games. Let us have them.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. All right, cool. We'll move on then. So biggest news right now is probably the giant bomb expose of the so-called PlayStation 4.5 or PlayStation Neo.
Right.
So this has been confirmed through multiple sources. Now, Giant Bomb is usually fairly reliable for things like this. Especially a few years ago, you remember they broke the story on Infinity Wards, fucking crazy shit, and a bunch of other stuff. They were, you know, I consider them reliable when it comes to this kind of reporting, when it's factual reporting. So they have claimed, multiple sources said that they now know information about the so-called PlayStation 4.5, PS4K, or some people are calling it, or now the PlayStation Neo, which some people are also calling it. So they have technical specs for this thing. So they're claiming that the Neo runs at a higher clock speed. So current PlayStation 4 runs 8 cores on an AMD Jaguar APU at 1.6 gigahertz. This is 2.1. So a bit of a bump there. Clock speed, 500 megahertz bump. Apparently, we'll also have more available RAM. Like, it's got the same amount of RAM. It's got 8 megs. Wow, we PlayStation 1 here? No. 8 gigs GDDR5, but this is higher bandwidth, so it runs faster. And the GPU itself has apparently double the compute units, and it runs at 911 megahertz as opposed to 800 megahertz. What that actually means in practice, according to the article, is that games will have so-called base mode and a Neo mode. Neo mode supposedly will either look better or run faster, hopefully. And apparently, every game that comes out is supposed to support both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Neo with 2 different modes available, either Neo mode or regular PS4 mode. So I guess they're trying to avoid what happened with the new 3DS, where if people bought new 3DS games and tried to run them on the old 3DS, they ran like absolute dog shit. I believe they're trying to fix that. As to how well it'll run, they didn't say. It will support 4K output, but only for media. You're not running games in 4K on a $400 box. I'm sorry, that's not how anything works. Don't even think about it. But they're claiming that it'll run at higher visual fidelity and more stable frame rate at 1080p. So we don't know what more stable
30 or stable.
I assume it probably means stable 30. Like that, they're not cranking. It depends how they do these modes. They're not cranking the power up enough to like double the frame rate of a game. They would have to like compromise something. They'd have to compromise the graphics in order to get that. It would be easier, and I think they should definitely do it. Like if any of you've played Last of Us on PlayStation 4 and you've played the 30 FPS mode versus the 60. Like, you can see, okay, the 60 looks a little bit worse, but it plays a shitload better, you know?
Absolutely.
It's delicious, really, really good game when you play it like that. Because on PS3, it ran at, like, 7. I don't know. It was like a silent fucking movie.
I still hate the combat in that game, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that one. So, it looks like they will be releasing a new piece of hardware, according to this particular leak. We don't know if this leak is true, but if they're saying multiple sources, and it is Giant Bomb, who are generally pretty reliable on this stuff, I would say that's probably quite likely. So I would like to know what the hell people think about this. A new upgraded PlayStation sort of mid-life cycle. What do you reckon?
Well, I think this is the same thing with the NX. And like, it's a weird, we had this console generation come out, and then people, even though everyone at the time was like, this doesn't seem like it's enough. But they brought it out anyway, and everyone got all hyped up and bought games that were not good, and then now they're like, hey, a new thing, all this new stuff's coming out, guys. So Wii U, all those games, I know most were garbage, but hey, now we have a new thing. And hey, guys, I know that we didn't really have a lot of games on our other consoles, but now there's a Neo, right? And there's going to be an Xbox thing eventually here. So
it's interesting because Microsoft actually said they wouldn't in a fairly recent statement, but maybe they'll change their mind now. Dodger, yes.
Like the way that it seems to me is Nintendo, I think, has waited long enough since the Wii U to be able to justify saying, like, here's a new console. But Sony is looking at PlayStation 4 and being like, we can't put out a totally new console now. Like, that won't work at all. So instead, they're trying to still compete with the NX coming out by putting out a better version of the PS4. Like, that's how it seems to me.
I think there's an element of that. I also think that it seems like this generation is woefully underpowered. Like, have you got the impression that the jump from, like, 360 and PS3 to PS4 and Xbox One was not as big as from PS2 to PS3 and PS1 to PS2?
Yeah.
And, like,
some games you can't even tell. Like,
no, you actually
might
can't.
As well still be on the PS3.
You might as well, yeah. And they don't run that well. Like, you were hoping, hey, we're going to get back to 60 frames, we're going to have a smooth experience, and we don't. We just flat out don't. And it's like, wow, is this generation going to go on for another 5 fucking years? How? Like, the iPhone is catching up to it. You can't stay on this hardware for 5 years. No way. It's not going to work.
Well, I think going to Xbox, for example, of why they wouldn't, I think it's pretty well known. I don't have any stats in front of me to back this up, but I believe most developers know the fact that more people play. Like the audience for PlayStation is much larger.
Much larger.
So it's in their interest to do something like this to keep the audience or grow the audience. Xbox, I can see where they'd be like, oh, we won't do that because there's very few people comparatively playing Xbox versus PlayStation.
There was actually a very worrying thing that came out, I think, this week that's claimed that, so The Guardian published a thing today. I don't know how reliable The Guardian is, and this probably not very, but they claim that the total sales of Xbox One hasn't hit 20 million yet if the chief financial officer for EA is to be believed. Like, EA may have accidentally leaked that figures. Bear in mind, the PS4 has sold 36 million so far, so it's being outsold by like 80-90%. That's significant.
Yeah, that's a console war winner kind of deal. Like Xbox, and I think it goes back to when we all, gamers in general, when they announced shit and they went with, yeah, no, you can watch your sports and your cable on this, and people are like, what the?
We don't care.
Yeah, and they goofed. I think they totally goofed, and PlayStation is dominating right now.
It is.
I don't even feel like a real console war happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When did the fight occur between these two? When were people like, oh, totally, again, Xbox One over PS4? I don't feel like they ever were like that.
Well, it was one of those things where we all expected these games that were going to come out that were just like the single, like this is only on Xbox and only on Play. We expected those to be like, oh, this is where the fight's going to happen. And almost all of them were shit. Like,
Yeah.
Almost every single one was garbage, and there's no way that you'd be like, oh, well, now I have to pick a side because I picked it for this game. Most of the games were like, there's no reason to buy this console because that game's garbage.
We don't have games, but check out our Comcast NFL package where you can watch the NFL Network tied in.
Why would you ever associate with Comcast under any circumstances?
Why?
I think it's so strange to be in a generation where these consoles are like a few years out and it's already like, I feel like these machines have done everything they can, like possibly. They've squeezed everything they can already out of them. There's no way they can go on for another 5 fucking years squeezing more out of it. Because all of these games just don't run that well. And there's games coming out over and over and over again where you're hearing, it doesn't even reach 30. I was like, that's unheard of. Like, that's really bad. Like, and you're trying to advance graphics further and further, and the games are getting slower and slower. And I know some people, indeed a lot of people, probably don't care too much about that, but I imagine the fucking devs do, and people are eventually going to start noticing when your game doesn't run that smoothly. They're not going to be able to identify why, but they're going to say, oh, well, this game feels laggy, And what it actually means is, of course, it runs a low frame rate.
Well, I think also it's not going to take much longer for people to start. Like, if they really do put out consoles faster, it's not going to take very long for people to say, wow, buying that $500 or $600 thing was not worth it at all.
I should get a computer.
I should get a computer instead.
Well,
VR headset.
A lot of people are.
Which I may go back on everything I said about the Steam machines, because maybe they were smart in realizing that eventually it's going to fall apart, and the Steam machines might be the way to play games. I could have been totally wrong. I still think no one buys those things, but I feel like eventually it might be the way to go, because
they're pricey.
You're getting most of the same games, a bunch more indie games, and honestly, the consoles are garbage right now.
They really are, and PC tech is just getting better and better. And yes, okay, you have to upgrade a PC every once in a while, but it's not like every once a fucking month like people think. It's like, oh yeah, you got to buy a new Titan X every month. Like, no, you don't. Like, you buy something high end like that, it's gonna last you for fucking years. And the thing is, like, even if your PC gets older, you can just turn the fucking settings down, and you'll still run fine. You can't do that in a fucking console.
Settings, but it'll still be 60 FPS.
Yeah, it'll still be 60 FPS. It's like you're running fucking like, oh, this game runs on a console or a netbook, You can do that. I'm glad that they're bringing a new one out, because the old one fucking is shit. I'll be really happy if I can buy this new PlayStation thing and then play Bloodborne at a higher frame rate without like minute fucking load times. But I don't know if I will be able to, because I don't know if they're going to update the old games or anything like that. Obviously, having the newer ones run better is good, but have you noticed how many PlayStation and Xbox games are coming to PC now? Quantum Break, Killer Instinct, fucking Gears of War.
Games that weren't supposed to.
Yeah, games that weren't supposed to. You're right.
Exclusive.
And Sony, I've got to give Sony credit. They kind of had the right idea. They're like, you know what? PC is not competing with us because the PC gamers aren't going to buy a PlayStation no matter what we fucking do. So we might as well let them buy our fucking games, you know? And Microsoft in this weird position where it's like, yeah, we own the dominating OS on PC, and yet we don't want to give them any of our games because we want them to buy an Xbox, even though they fucking won't do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. I kind of hope Microsoft follows suit, because if they don't, then people are going to have a nightmare developing cross-platform. It's like, you got this shitbox right here, and this slightly less shitbox here, and you've got to develop for both of them. This shitbox is faster than this shitbox, so we got to work twice as hard to develop multiple versions that run at multiple frame rates, and you'd think it wouldn't be that hard, because, you know, developed for a PC and it runs on everything, but then you look at Arkham Knight and you realize, oh, it doesn't, does it? Like, some games really fucking don't run on multiple hardware setups that well.
Absolutely.
I think I've used my Xbox and PS4 more for Blu-rays than I have games.
Same.
I use Netflix on Xbox. That's literally all I use it for.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can't remember the last time I turned on the Xbox One or the PS4. I
Yeah.
cannot remember the last time I used them.
I mean, I used to turn the PS4 on to play Blaze Blue and Guild Gear, and they're now both on Steam.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need that anymore. I'm trying to think, you know, why else would I turn them on? I mean, it's nice to be able to get the free games on the PlayStation subscription every time, because there's sometimes something worth playing, but for the most part, it's like, well, you know what? I can play all of these games on PC, and I can play them better, and it's only going to get better. You know, the hardware is getting cheaper all the time. The equivalent hardware that you need to run at a certain speed is getting better. There are definitely some good games on PlayStation. You know, I kind of want to play that Ratchet and Clank.
That's great.
Apparently is really, really good.
It's really good.
Yeah. Although, I guess it doesn't matter, but if, like, the movie was something you ever wanted to see, but I imagine it isn't TV.
No, it is not.
If it ever was, a lot of stuff from the movie is, like, in the game.
Okay, I don't have any interest in that. That's fine. I just watched Wreck-It Ralph again yesterday. It's like, I feel like it's the only video game movie that ever needs to exist. Is Wreck-It Ralph.
That's a great movie.
It's cute.
It's an awesome movie. Awesome movie. But
You're not gonna see the Warcraft movie?
I will. I know I will. I don't like it, but Ratchet and Clank's 30 FPS. Ugh. Disgraceful.
Disgraceful.
It's
Can you just
disgraceful.
have a
Shameful
show
display.
on it?
I mean, we made a lot of money on the 60 FPS shirts. We need to do another one, I gotta say. But the
It's a shameful display. Of
shameful
FPS.
display, indeed. Shameful display.
Your frames run from the battlefield.
They run very slowly from the battlefield in small numbers.
Oh, this-
A squadron of 27 frames is fleeing the battlefield.
I almost played Rome 2 Total War again.
Oh no! Oh no! Bad! Stop immediately.
Well, I wanted to know if it was good now. After,
No, it's
like,
shit. It's still shit. It's just slightly less shit. Just play the original Rome. Just play
Yeah, that's
fucking. Just play that.
what I'm
It's
getting
still good. It's still really good.
Yeah, I'll just play the original one.
I'm still like Medieval 2 is my
Medieval
top.
2 is great.
I know a lot of people said Rome's better and Shogun's better. I don't know. I like Medieval 2. I just thought I had the variety, you know?
You know, it's like a nice in between of everything. It's
Yeah.
got pretty decent graphics. They're not outdated too badly, and then it's got more of the mechanics from the newer one. It's
You
like
get the Lord of the Rings mod for
yeah,
it.
you get the Lord of the Rings mod too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fucking Medieval 2.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get to play what's it
Regular
called?
Skeks.
Warhammer, the Total War Warhammer at PAX. I set up a thing because I like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I like Total War games because they're not super intensive. So I'm
No,
not
they're not.
like,
You can
"Ah,
pause
this is
and all that kind
Europa
of shit."
or whatever. It's like everything.
Oh, Europa Universalis? Like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I gotta admit, though, that Stellaris that's coming out, which is supposed to like Crusader Kings in space, I want that. Although I do need to sit down and just play Crusader Kings with the Game of Thrones mod. It's like,
Oh yeah, I heard that.
this is a game which has incest as a mechanic. Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I mean, it's a fucking medieval game. There's really dodgy shit in it. It's like, hey, you're inbreeding. That's bad. Don't do that. You'll lose stats.
Go on.
But you need a son. So
You need a son. You gotta get him somehow, right?
Gotta
Do what
have
you
the
gotta
heir.
do,
Do what you
buddy.
gonna do.
Bone what you gotta bone.
I like that about the Rome Total War series, where like sometimes you'd have like a kid and he'd just like be crippled or just really unhealthy. It's like, this guy has a bunch of negative stats. It's like, send him into battle. He dies a glorious death. It's like, great.
Goes to Valhalla.
I've cleansed the bloodline.
Oh, there's this Netflix documentary.
That's
on,
a little too Aryan, isn't it? I should probably back off from that statement.
a little bit.
Hashtag not my bloodline.
Hashtag purity. No.
On Netflix is
Hashtag Sam Strickland.
No. What? Wait.
Can't.
This is getting really weird.
The bloodline has to continue. The star football player bloodline. I like how Sam's like, yeah, I could have went
Fuck it all
pro.
up.
Could have went pro if I'd have kept going. I'm like,
Yeah.
could you? Could you have gone pro?
Probably not.
Could you though?
You play video games for a living.
Yeah. There's a Netflix documentary, six episodes of the Great Castles of England,
What the fuck
I've
has
been
this got to do with
watching that.
video games?
and it's great. I don't know, but it's cool.
Okay, good to know.
All right, what other news is there? What else?
That's a good question. What's been really going on? I mean, it's been a lot of lead up to PAX East. There doesn't seem to be a lot of huge potential announcements happening at PAX East. Not a lot of people are bringing their big games, which is kind of weird because
Mark's
PAX.
bringing a giant T-Rex. That's literally what I saw.
Of
today.
course they are. Of
Ark
course
was a
they
fun
are.
game for a bit.
A giant T-Rex. Oh, Ark. Ark, yes.
Yeah. I
don't
enjoyed that game for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't see. I hate the PAX website because I can't see actually who's gonna. They don't have a thing like.
Yeah,
here's
you have
who's
to
gonna
get the
be there.
fucking app in order to find out where everybody is. Somebody
Yeah.
sent me a floor plan, which was finally helpful in one of the indie emails. Like, why couldn't this be on the website? I was like, I saw Maker's booth. It's like, this is bigger than Square Enix's booth. What the hell's going on here?
It's ginormous.
After you go to so many PAXs, you just kind of get into the routine of like, you walk around, you go to the Twitch booth, you steal their food, you steal a few like Twitch turbo cards, you leave, you go to the indie desk, you go
I
eat
like how
some
you won't
food.
pay for your own Twitch Turbo
Yeah.
because you know it's bullshit. That you're right,
Yeah.
it is. It's terrible. Don't buy Twitch Turbo, kids. It's literally not in any way helpful to us. It's like,
Yeah,
we're supporting people. No, you're not. The only people you're supporting is Twitch. The only money you're giving is Twitch. Don't do it. Sub to us instead. It's much better.
Go
trust
to a
me.
few panels, do
Yeah.
a few panels, sign a few autographs, go home.
Yeah.
Could have just went to IKEA.
And done the exact same
You don't have to be
Yeah.
around other people.
When Crendor goes to IKEA, panels just spring up.
IKEA, sponsor me. IKEA Con. We'll
Twitch
make it
turbo
Wood
guys
panels.
in the sky.
IKEA Con.
Weird.
Make furniture great again.
IKEA-Con sounds like some type of lord who rules over Outland.
IKEA-Con.
IKEA-Con.
Luke IKEA-Con.
IKEA-Con, great god of the Netherrealm.
Yep.
IKEA Con.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. He's a little offensive.
Only slightly racist, yeah.
A little bit.
Only slightly racist. We should mention that the Bastion and Transistor creators have announced a new game called Pyre.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the shit that game's about, but it looks beautiful.
Of course it does. It's by those guys. I'm really
And those
excited.
motherfuckers.
Yep,
The
it's going to
trailer
be
the game has a song that like describes the game to you.
I hope
still
so.
don't know what it's about.
Better.
I still don't know what it's about.
they all have songs to describe them together. It's apparently like party based as an RPG or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's like there are three souls. Like there's a song in the background. It like describes what the story of the game is.
yeah.
It ended, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm still gonna get it.
Of
So,
course,
alright.
it's a super fucking giant game. They are demonstrating it at PAX. I'm definitely hoping to get footage because I remember the last PAX I went to, I got that footage of Transistor and it was amazing. Hopefully, we can do the same. Assuming I didn't do anything to piss them off this time, but it does look really great. It's got an awesome aesthetic. There's some kind of demon summoning going on. Apparently, that appears to be a buffalo of some description. That's a cart with a buffalo head on it that's just riding the mountains for some reason. I
Is
don't
it
know
a
what the
rigid
fuck is
buffalo?
going on. It's not a rigid buffalo. It's a very flexible buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard rigid butthole, and I was like, I can't wait to hear the response.
Of course
I
you
thought
do.
it was buffalo though.
Rigid butthole.
A rigid butthole. Anybody?
No, I refuse.
Go on.
Pyre. Yeah, Pyre's coming, and I'm very excited about that. Everything that Supergiant makes turns to gold, as far as I'm concerned, so I'm really happy to see that. I will admit to being heavily biased towards what Supergiant makes, because it's like, Yes, Bastion, Game of the Year, like 2011, and then was it Transistor, like one of my favorite games of the year in 2014? Yeah,
I
think so. Yeah. So I'm all over that.
That's cool.
Definitely. I'll be excited to play that at PAX. That's going to have a long fucking line, I think, at PAX. Now that it's got
I would imagine
recognition.
they usually do. I would imagine
Yep.
so.
Yep.
You just gotta go up and be like, do you know who I am?
Do you know who I... Well, I mean, I'll
What you
email them
gotta do-
beforehand so I
what
don't
you
have to
gotta
do that.
Is Friday, take your media pass, go there at 9 a.m. and play
Yeah.
everything real quick, and then be like, well, I've seen everything. See you later, PAX. And
Well, I got a bunch of appointments to make sure I didn't have to do that, but will probably dive in early just to make
oh,
sure.
it's always the AAA ones. That's what I go to. I find like,
Yeah.
oh, that one's cool and has swag. All right, I'm in. I go play it. I'm like, well, that was great.
Yeah, because you usually can't get an appointment after that. I don't even know what AAAs they're even doing. Like, Square Enix has got its console lineup there, but they don't have Deus Ex. So, like, well, you can play Hitman. It's like, I can do that already. It's on Steam.
Yeah, I just don't care. Yeah,
I-
I'd love to play Deus Ex. They have Deus Ex panels. No
Yeah,
game.
panels, no game. Yeah, I don't understand that. I do not understand that at all. Someone just sent me a key for Bacon Man and Adventure, which will be at PAX. Wow, okay.
Bacon man.
Very exciting. Booth
Bacon
6548 if you want to check that out. I don't, but
Interesting.
it's certainly a video game, no
It's
doubt
like,
about that.
you know, Meat Boy grew up.
Indeed. Became Bacon Man.
No, he's Bacon Man.
Yes.
He smoked too much, got fried. Now he's Bacon Man.
He is.
Hey, Duggar, what are you doing poking your nose like that? Wow, you are,
Immature.
are like a 3-year-old. I don't know how you function. I don't know how you get through a day.
Nobody knows. Nobody's figured
I
that
don't know
out.
how you do it. I don't know how you do that. Anything else? Worthy?
Let's see.
All right, great.
Great.
Now,
Releases, I guess.
all right, submitted releases.
Do you have the release list?
I
My
do,
friend.
and I didn't send it to you because I'm an asshole.
My friend.
7-Eleven was an inside job.
Don't call me friend.
What? What?
Why not?
Colleague at most.
What's wrong with Bindu?
Colleague at most. All right.
Teebs. You called the man Teebs. No wonder.
This is why I don't like you anymore.
No.
Teebs.
All right,
No
th-
Teebs.
It's like
There's
a
the list.
1950s. Like, listen here, Teebs. We gotta get it on
Yeah,
the
please, yeah.
That's Mr. Teebs to you.
Teams Esquire. All right, hit us with that release list.
Oh my gosh, it's long. All right, April 19th, aka today, we have The Average Everyday Adventures of Samantha Brown.
So it's not actually that long, it's just that title took up half the list. Okay.
What the shit? Where?
An interactive story about a painfully inverted college student who might find a way to make oatmeal in the communal kitchen of her dorm. Can you help her complete it? I'm sure I could, I just have no
Get out
interest
of
in
life.
doing so.
Get out of life. All right, sure.
It has
Hold
been
on, that might
described
be
on Steam as
interesting.
Depression Quest 2 Electric Boogaloo. So
Oh man.
I,
Oh, jeez.
Cool. Cool.
I thought you were just gonna make oatmeal and be happy.
apparently not. Apparently you're going to be miserable while making oatmeal.
She didn't have the right oatmeal, Crendor. Now she's gonna die alone.
Oh my god, there used to be a game called First World Problems. User experience.
I think this is, by the looks of it.
Probably exists already. The next
Christ.
game is called Loud in all caps on
Ah!
Planet X.
Loud on Planet X. Defend your stage with music in this new rhythm game.
Oh, that's kind of cute, but it looks
Yeah.
like it's for iPad.
It definitely does, doesn't it? I don't know if it was on iPad previously, but it's apparently a combination of a Guitar Hero and Plants vs. Zombies, kind of lane-based defense, and you're a band, and you're firing fucking lasers with your guitar.
That's how bands work.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure that
Good
is.
ones,
yeah.
at least.
Totally right. Next.
Next up is called The Black Death.
Yeah, that's that fucking
We talked
survival
about
game that came out today. Force is already playing it because he's a fucking sellout.
I'm gonna play it.
Of course you are.
The next one is Banner Saga 2, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, love the Banner Saga. Hopefully Banner Saga 2 will be as good. I do have code for that. I haven't got around to playing
I'm
it yet.
gonna be hosting the Banner Saga panel at PAX 10:30 on Saturday. You should
Sellouts! Sellouts!
Wow.
I love it.
But yeah,
be
Banner Saga is
sleeping.
fucking awesome. So.
Yeah. Next up is called
Paintee, yes. It's a free-form, do-whatever-you-want painting simulator. So,
Great.
so you just paint shit. Okay. It's in early access. Yeah, that sounds worthwhile. Next.
All right. Next up is called IS Defense.
Oh, this is an
terribly-
on-rail shooter where you fight ISIS. I want to play this game. It looks ridiculous.
Yep.
It's an on-rail shooter.
It's destructive. It's the fucking guys that made Hatred. They literally made a turret defense game about killing ISIS.
Kill ISIS. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. All the reviews are like, this game's amazing. Like everyone.
Graphically, it looks fucking incredible, but it's a turret game. It's literally a turret game.
Yeah.
But
You're on
people
a
are saying,
turret,
actually,
on
this
rails.
is really fun. I'm like, oh, okay.
According to all the reviews, it has barely any. It's like an old arcade game. It has barely any plot, and you just launch an attack on ISIS. Like, it's,
Well, you don't launch an attack. You're defending against ISIS, apparently. That ISIS are attacking the shores of Europe, and you fucking shoot them. That is the game. I mean, you gotta admit, that is a little bit more socially acceptable than Hatred. So,
I guess so. Cause
It's like, they're attacking us! We didn't start this shit. Well, historically, we
God.
probably did, but let's not go into the socio-political impact of that.
7-Eleven was an inside job.
7-Eleven was an inside job, no
All right,
doubt.
guys.
Everybody
All
knows
right,
it.
all right.
Dodge
know
trying to
the
get this under
slushy-
control.
You
The
know
next
it's slushy.
game.
Get under
The
control,
next
Dodger!
game. The next game is
can't
called
melt steel
Ice Lakes.
beams.
Ice Lakes. Ice Lakes is the next game.
It's true, they can't. when you really think about it.
The best part is, the more you said it, the funnier it got. I don't know why that is. It shouldn't be the case. The more you said it, it
I had
got
to
me.
get my
It got
point
me.
across. TB's dead. He's gone.
Make America great again, guys. Make America great again.
All right, guys.
Asshole!
All right, guys.
Ice Lakes, there's a fucking bear!
It's a modern ice fishing simulator with single and multiplayer game modes and a sandbox approach to wintertime fishing.
There's a fucking bear, and it's slowly chasing the ice fisherman.
Yep.
Sounds great.
It looks fucking hilarious. For all the wrong... This fucking bear! I need to show you this bear. Hang on a minute. I can do this. I have the power. I just
Do
need
it,
to...
I believe in you.
Alright, I just need to do this right, because I'm doing this with Steam, and the window's not aligned. This is going to be difficult. I'm going to pull it off, because I'm that fucking good. Look at this. Alright, look at this. Window picture-in-picture shit. That is not at all right.
I'm patiently waiting for it.
Oh my god, it is ignoring the Steam window. I have never seen that happen before. Wow, okay.
man.
Right, I can't show you... maybe there's a trailer on YouTube. Maybe that's it.
Wow, that looks weird.
Wow, that is, yeah.
That's a game
glad-
I'm gonna play.
Something happened there.
All right, I think I might have... No, is this... Where's the fucking bear? Where's this fucking bear?
All this for a bear. All right, well, while he looks for that, what other games are coming out, Dodger?
Next up on
God damn
April 20th, we have Melty Blood Actress Again current code.
Anime Fighter!
Fuck.
Probably an anime game, yeah.
Yes.
All right, great.
Mhm.
The next game is called Watherlord Following the Princess.
Watherlord?
Yeah, like father,
Wather.
but with a W.
I
Watherlord.
can't show you the bear. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I mean, maybe I can. So did you
It's
say...
Weatherlord.
That's Weatherlord! Did you just call it Watherlord?
That's what it says on the fucking list, TB. It
I mean,
says-
I didn't misspell that, but it's literally Weatherlord, and it's collector's edition, which means it is by Big Fish. No, it's actually not. It's by Eustace Game Studio, but it is very, very similar
Looks
to
like it.
a kind of big fishy sort of mobile game.
The next game is called Pollen with hyphens between every letter.
Right.
I gotta type this damn thing in.
I'm still trying to get this fucking bear.
Bumblebees, born with ability to buzz for pollen.
Delve into the richly detailed Station M and try everything you can to get your hands on to uncover the mysteries that lie beneath the moon's crust.
All right, I might have this bear. I might have it.
Guess it's a game where you go into the moon. You're going under the moon.
Oh,
All right.
wait, this shit. Where's
Cool.
the...
The next
Yes,
one is
moon.
called Bloons TD Battles, which
Oh,
is
Bloons,
a
yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's a fucking really fucking popular mobile game, if I
Yeah,
recall
it's a
correctly.
tower defense mobile game that I guess is coming.
People
to some-
really love that for some reason. I found it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this
The bear.
fucking bear.
The
No matter the
eagerly
cost.
I'm
The
eagerly
bear.
waiting.
There we go.
Yeah, we have to wait.
That's it. There, we're done.
Now we
We're done.
patiently wait.
We're done. The bear's done. So is the guy it was chasing.
Oh my god, this already looks great.
Yeah!
That's fair.
Yes.
Worth it.
That took a lot of work from me. I hope you appreciate that. All right,
The
next.
Bear chased the guy. A dude was just fishing. He was not. He's like, look, I ain't moving. This is my spot.
What's this game called?
Ice Lakes.
even remember
It's the
anymore.
ice
Ice
fishing
Lakes.
simulator. It's a modern ice fishing simulator with single and multiplayer with a sandbox approach to winter time fishing.
All right.
And that fucking bear.
The next game is called Tank Brawl.
Tank Brawl. Why does that sound
I wonder what
familiar?
that's about.
I mean, it's just tanks in it. Okay, it's a fully 3D modernization of the classic Battle City. I have never heard of that game, but it's got a lot of tanks in it, and it looks pretty cool.
Cool. Next up is called Overpower.
That also sounds familiar.
I don't know what that is.
Magic slinging, weapon smashing, all-out medieval brawl. Yeah, it's a sort of third-person arena. It's definitely Overwatch-ish by the looks of it. It's sort of different classes with different skills and abilities, but you are in the medieval times or something. And that mage has way too few clothes for that weather. Next.
Next up is called Mega Magic Wizards of the Neon Age, and it actually looks pretty cool.
It's a strategy RPG, but you're like a 1980s wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks kind of fucking cool.
It looks
Prepare
cool.
to delve into a fascinating world where the forces of technology and magic embroiled in a vicious struggle, blurring the lines between RPG and strategy, recaptures the unmistakable flavor of the 80s in a game magnified by the incredible music of Mitch Murder. There's a fucking mech suit in this shit. There's this, I don't know what this is, but I want to try it. This looks really
RPG,
neat.
bro.
Well, I mean, it's an RPG with a strategy. It's like, all right, this, I mean, I love the aesthetic. It's very, very Blood Dragon with the neon grid and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hackerman is hacking the past.
Of course he is.
Next up is called Masquerade: The Baubles of Doom, and I can't get a read on what it is.
The Baubles of Doom. It's an action-adventure set in a fantasy world of the realms, centered around a battle for the mythic druid orbs, the most powerful pair of balls in all the land. That's deliberate. For it was said that forever who possessed the orbs possessed the power to rule all. It looks
the
like
graphic style of freestyle basketball.
the aesthetic looks terrible. Like it's a pseudo cell shaded like 3D brawler by the looks of it. There's clowns in it for some reason.
Great.
Oh my god. This next game looks like a Crendor game.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, when we get to this game.
Hang on a minute. Before you go on, I'd like to tell you what the other things this developer made are: Rugby League Live 3, Don Bradman Cricket 14, Casey Powell Lacrosse 16, and Tabletop Cricket, and then Masquerade: The Baubles of Doom.
Great.
One of these things is not like the others.
Oh, speaking of which, the next game, 3 coins at school. I want you to go to the Steam page and tell me which one of those is not like the others. Go look at the images.
Okay.
Something's not right here.
Why is it in the ocean?
I had a similar reaction, Jesse. I'm glad.
I was scrolling through the images like, well, this looks stupid, and I was like, wait, what? What? Why is there just the ocean?
It is a simple and funny game. God, Steam is inundated with shit these days. Good lord. Okay, next.
20-cent coin
up
with
is
the Euro
called-
coin.
March of the Living.
Which 20-cent coin to pick to start the
I've heard quite a lot about this. I think it's a
Arch of the Living?
roguelike inspired by FTL and popular zombie fiction. So it's sort of an FTL style guided group of survivors not get eaten by zombies game. I imagine that's probably going to do fairly well. That sounds like a mixture of things that would probably work.
Maybe.
I'll give it a shot. I know I've been given code for this about 5 different times, so I guess I'll have to play it to stop them from pestering me. Don't do that, it doesn't work. Next.
Next up on April 21st, we have Halcyon 6 Starbase Commander.
Yes, Starbase Commander. Yeah, retro space strategy RPG. It's got a kind of FTL style graphic aesthetic. That's not even a fucking sentence. It's got a sort of FTL style art style, I guess, going with it. It's a RPG with base building, tactical combat, crew management, and emergent storytelling. I don't know what that is, but I'm intrigued. Oh, it's inspired by Star Control. Yeah, that was a cool game. Yeah, this looks good. I'm digging it. Gonna get this.
This next game is called My Night Job, and I'm like kind of into how it looks. It says My Night Job features a massive mansion that must be defended, explored, and exploited. And it looks like kind of a weird side scroller. The art style is kind
unusual.
of Pilgrim-y,
Yeah.
but like a little more toward Beavis and Butthead. If you could mix the two.
It seems like it's a room defense kind of game, a little bit of strategy, use different weapons and parts of the environment to defend various rooms in the house from attacks. It does look quite neat, I have to admit. That it's definitely a cool aesthetic, I'll give you that.
Next one is called Mythic Wonders, The Philosopher's Stone.
Is this... I'm going to use my powers. I think this is a hidden object game.
Probably.
Big Fish Games.
It's a fucking hidden object game.
Yay!
100% record. Still doing it.
Cool. Next up is called Western Press.
He's about capitalist press.
It's not at all about that.
Things about Putin.
Putis. It is it's the most historically accurate frontier dueling game available for PC and Mac. According to this, 16 players compete in a tournament of 1v1 sprints to press a random string of 10 buttons the fastest. Right then.
Okay.
Next up is called Battlefield Gothic Armada.
It's fucking awesome. Orcs.
Video game adaptation of Game Workshop's classic tabletop game.
Orcs is made for fighting.
I still don't know what the hell the orcs say in the trailer. I still
It's just
know
all
what the hell they're
bullshit.
saying.
It's all British bullshit. Oh, no, love. Is what they say mostly. Prepare for ramming speed.
And then the Eldar, Protoss,
Eldar, yes.
Eldar show up.
They do. The Eldar are now in the beta. They're all as shitty as you'd expect them to be.
Eldar. Jesus
Bloody
Christ.
red ships go faster. Orcs.
Next up
Orcs.
is
Orcs.
Frederick, Resurrection of Music.
Go on.
Frederick Chopin, a longtime deceased classical composer, returns back from beyond the grave to fight intense musical duels.
That's neat.
And I'm in.
These aren't your
It's-
every average day duels. These are intense musical
It's
duels.
musical duels.
You need to
This
understand
already
that.
has 545 positive reviews. And this must have come out.
It looks like it's already out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been out for a week. Apparently, this is
It's out
fucking
for a
good.
year?
2014.
Yeah, I mean it's $3. It's a rhythm game of sorts.
Why is this on here? If it's
I
been
don't
out
know.
since 2014.
I have no
Wow.
idea. I have
We're
no
only
idea
a few
why.
days from the release of Frederick Resurrection.
Is
Oh.
that what it is? Is there another one?
Yeah, it says the Steam update thing. It's like
Frederick
Resurrection
Evil Strikes
of-
Back.
Yeah.
There's actually multiple games in this series. That's probably why. Yeah, there's another Frederick game being released. That's why. It's a kind of director's cut thing.
All right.
That looks cool though.
Yeah. Next up is Epic Clicker Journey. I wonder what kind of game it is.
I can't
It's
imagine.
a clicker where you fight an elephant with a bathroom on its back and a My Little Pony in bondage gear and
Perfect.
He's not
an
actually
alien.
lying, by the way.
If only. God,
Nope,
if only.
not lying.
Next.
Cool. Next is called Wolf Flame. Only one F. Wolf Flame. One word.
Wolf Flame.
Wolf Flame.
Wolf Flame.
Wolf Flame.
Wolf Flame. I still can't spell this shit. More like Wolf Lame. Am I right? Sick burns. I actually can't find it.
Bullet hell, kind of like spaceship games, whatever those are called.
Bullet hells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up on April 22nd, we have Sins of the Demon.
I don't know.
I mean, I
what's
imagine there's
going
quite
on
a few
with
of them.
It's kind of like old school.
RPG Maker-ish.
Yeah, it's RPG
Yeah,
Maker.
It's definitely RPG Maker.
Yep.
Next up is called Eternal Destiny.
What? Pause.
Pausing.
Anyone can take a moment to go back to Sins of the Demon and watch the trailer to the bit where it gets to what Lust looks like. Lust is a half-naked woman with a pomegranate for a head. And I don't know.
No.
I don't know what any of this means, but that's the best image. I want that as my avatar. It's just a half-naked woman.
You're right.
You're not lying.
God.
In a world overcome by evil and this very fat goat, by the looks of it.
I just don't know why that exists.
She's also like picking at the pomegranate, like she's
She's
gonna.
like, ooh, I'm so juicy.
Slightly twisted.
Yeah, all
Oh
right,
god.
sure.
Eternal Destiny is an epic card game inspired by myths, legend, and H.P. Lovecraft, except everything is an anime made.
Oh,
Which is
God.
why this makes very little
Whoa,
sense.
Hello. Anime maids getting possessed by Lovecraftian horrors?
Apparently.
Horror.
This is very weird. That's quite the combination.
Yes.
Alright, next.
Yes, it is.
Next is called Counterattack. But when I look up Counterattack, it says Counterattack is an unofficial port of the popular PC Counter-Strike game for Java devices.
It's
It's
all
one
one word.
word. Yeah, it's
Ah.
literally just a side-scrolling shoot 'em up that looks like it was made
That's
in the
right.
90s.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
all it
well-
is. Next.
Next up is called Midsummer Night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Anything to... that's RPG Maker. It might not be, but it definitely looks like it. Yeah, it's a sort of top-down retro RPG. Apparently this guy doesn't have any legs. Because either they didn't bother to render them, or he has very short legs. Yeah, not a big fan of that. Next.
Next up is called So Long Earth. It looks very Don't
Long-
Starve.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
It's basically what it is. It's like a weird version of Don't Starve, but on like planets.
Mm,
Round orby planets.
action puzzle platformer.
Scroller, yeah.
Definitely interesting. Wait a minute. Is this the same... this font is the same as My Darker Purpose.
Exact.
It's not...
What?
I don't, there's a game called My Darker Purpose, which was kind of a creepy Isaac clone that was very like Don't Starve, Lovecraftian inspired. The font they use for So Long Earth is very, very similar, if not identical to that. I thought it was by the same dev, but that does not appear to be the case.
Next up is called Cyborg Detonator.
I can't tell this is Angry Birds-ish or what. Like, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on right now.
It looks just doesn't look that great.
Yeah, it literally looks like an Angry Birds clone. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yay.
The next game is called Opus: The Day We Found Earth. It looks like it's a mobile game that might be being ported to PC or something like that, but it says it's an interactive story that takes place in the distant future.
It's won various awards. It looks, yeah, it's some sort of exploratory narrative game by the looks of it.
Yeah.
You operate an evolving space telescope to find Earth by scanning nearby stars, and then you get stories. So it's literally the scanning minigame from Mass Effect 2, an entire video game of that with a bunch of stories attached to it. So if you like that, then it might be worth a look. Apparently it has a pretty killer soundtrack.
Cool. Next up is called Secrets of Deep Earth Shrine.
Side-scrolling Minecraft? I guess
Oh,
I'm
another one?
trying to figure out what this is. Indie strategy adventure.
Yeah, it looks a little bit Spelunky, a little bit Terraria, a little bit Minecraft. Yeah, it's kind of block-based exploration.
Next up is called CTU Counterterrorism Unit.
If this is not based off the adventures of Jack Bauer, I'm out. There's only one CTU, and Jack Bauer's in charge of that shit. Actually, he was never in charge, but he ran the show. We all
Arrest
It
terrorists,
is
use
not.
gadgets. It's got 5-player co-op. Yeah, it's a sort of tactical first-person shooter by the looks of it. The person that developed it also made World Ship Simulator, so that should be an indication of the quality on display. Next,
Next up is called Jalopy. Build, repair, refuel, and drive a dilapidated old car on a grand journey through the
Indeed,
territories
yeah.
of the former Eastern Bloc.
yeah, I heard of that. You know, it sounds kind of fun. I gotta admit that. That sounds kind of neat.
Eastern Bloc.
Yep.
This
Next up is
guy
called
was
Abandoned Night.
Abandoned Night. Abandoned Night with a K. Okay. Oh my god, the aesthetic of this is awful. You know, I think I'm just getting triggered by MS Paint games at this point. This looks really awful. I'm sorry. I hate
But look
shitting
at
on people's
those-
work, but holy
Those
fuck.
gold and heart indicators. Are you saying you not want those in your game?
No, never, actually. Ugh. Disgusting.
Put a lot of hard work into this game, and then you do
Wow.
that. It is uncalled
I know,
for
it makes
and
me kind of feel
rude.
bad, but simultaneously, we've got to maintain some standards on this show. Jesus. Next.
The next game is called Save the Dodos. It's a game where you're guiding dodos through challenging puzzle mazes to keep them from extinction.
It's fucking Lemmings, basically.
Yeah, it's Lemmings.
It's Lemmings with Swipe. It's from mobile. Okay, next.
The next game is called It's Killing Time.
It's a story game, basically.
Oh,
It's a choose
well,
your
that's
adventure.
disappointing. Oh, it's by those guys. Yeah, so there's a developer called Choice of Games that releases a ton of game books, shitloads of them. They're actually all good, if you can believe that. It doesn't look that way, but they're surprisingly good if you like a bunch of choose your own adventure books. Like, they've released like fucking 60 of these things, at least.
Well, then you'll like the next one
yeah.
because the Sea Eternal is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, they basically write a bunch of interactive novels, and they're all like kind of the same mechanics, but they're actually good. So there you go.
Ah.
Next up is called 8-Bit Armies.
Yeah, I actually have code for this.
RTS.
Yeah, so I have code for this. It is by some of the ex-CNC developers. It's basically like, what if we just made Command & Conquer again, but we made it in the kind of voxel pixel style? I will say that it plays well, but outside of the nuclear missile, all of the units are super generic. Like, you were hoping, like, oh, I want a Tesla coil or a mammoth tank. It doesn't have any of that shit. Which is really unfortunate, because I think actually it's a pretty good game, and it plays well. It's just the units are so boring! So, yeah, if you want, like, Command & Conquer in that style, sure, pick it up. It's going to be really cheap, apparently. And it's got quite a lot of campaign missions and stuff, but I just really hate how boring the units are.
Gotcha. The next game is called One Way Flight. It looks like the sort of game where you do lots of mini games.
Okay.
So the idea is that you are on a plane and the plane crashes on an island and you're trying to like survive on the island, and you have to do mini games to like
Okay.
gather supplies and stuff like that. That's what it looks like anyway.
Yeah, that seems like is what it is. Like, there's some match 3 stuff and all sorts of things like that. Looks like a mobile port, but I can't be 100% sure. Next.
Next up is Mahjong Deluxe 3.
Oh, yeah.
Mahjong game.
Yeah, that sure is a Mahjong game.
Next up is called Wayward.
I'm sure I've played this before. Probably not.
It's been on early access for a while, it looks like.
Yeah, turn-based top-down wilderness survival roguelike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like taking a little bit of inspiration from Dwarf Fortress there.
Next up is called Strategy and Tactics Wargame Collection.
Oh god, that's a terrible name to spell.
It's a collection of strategy and tactics games.
Yeah,
At least it got
he's
to the
not wrong.
point.
And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, bunch of war games basically.
yeah, that's it.
The next game is 28 Waves Later, which we talked about on the last podcast.
Zombie waves.
Yeah, we
Shoot
did.
Zombies.
Apparently
Not
got
enough
pushed. But
zombie.
yeah, it's a Zombie Waves game.
Definitely
Yay.
not enough zombie games out there. We need
Yeah,
more.
definitely not. We absolutely need more. Next,
Witch and Hero is the next game.
Witch
8-bit.
and Hero.
Kind of bullet hellish game, it looks like.
Yeah, it's Japanese by the looks of it. 8-bit kind of arcade. Yeah, it looks like Realm of the Mad God. Next.
April 25th, Corpse Party, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
Anime game where a bunch of kids are stuck in a school and slowly get murdered, depending on the choices you make. Shit.
That seems like a common theme lately.
It looks
an
very.
older game. It's an
fancy.
older
I want
game.
to see people
Yeah.
get killed.
Like finally got brought over here.
There's
so
several
I'm
on the
excited
Vita,
about
right?
that.
If I recall correctly. The Vita has a couple of Corpse Party games, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly.
Next up is #Neek, The Firefly Diary.
That's legit
Yeah.
the name of it.
Yep.
#Neek.
That is a terrible name for a video game. Don't do that again. It does look kind of adorable, though. You got to admit, the art style is quite the
Graphically
thing.
looks really cool. Yeah, I just don't know what the hell is going on, but cool.
Yeah, that's a silly name for a game, but never mind. Yeah, kind of side-scrolling puzzle thingy. Next.
And finally, Otum's
fuck.
Defiance. It's our last game.
I do actually have code for this. I'm not sure what it is, though. You are a child who has been chosen as a sacrifice to the gods. You go into a kind of ring. That's actually kind of neat art style. You're in a ring-shaped arena. You dodge attacks and fight back to survive the ritual to uncover the mysteries of the mysterious shaman.
Wait, so they just keep
yeah.
re-sacrificing you? Like,
I guess they just keep trying. It's like,
in.
if at first you don't succeed, something like that.
All right.
And that's it for our
Thank
releases.
God, that was way too long. This is why we don't do releases anymore. Jesus, when you guys aren't on the show, I don't even fucking bother. It takes way too long. God.
That's
God.
forever.
It does. It does take a long time.
We found a solid 2 great games from that list.
I think we found a couple of interesting ones. Not too many, but definitely a couple.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we would like to remind you, of course, that we will be at PAX from Thursday to Sunday. And we will also be broadcasting live from PAX. I must remind people, because some people are confused, we are not on Go 90. Fuck Go 90. We are doing co-optional live on Twitch. It will be on the Dragonfly Theatre stream. That's expected to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. If you are looking to get to the show, we have 700 seats available. That's quite a few, but, you know, don't be surprised if they fill up, because we have filled up larger theaters than that before. We'll see if that happens. You will be able to watch it free. I'll try and get the VOD for the channel, and I'll also be hosting it on twitch.tv/TotalBiscuit.
I ask that all the young children and more, like, just, you know, all young children and I'm going to say all women stay in the back, so if you don't get in, you can stay outside crying, because I want that. I want people to see
You're awful.
crying outside, being like, why are you crying? Like, I couldn't get in to see the co-optional panel. I'm just saying, if Markiplier's fans can do it for him, why can't you do it for us, guys?
Yeah. And then go to the Cox and Crendor panel the next day. The best panel at PAX.
Yeah, if his fans can cry for him, why can't you cry for us? That's all I'm saying.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Unless your name is Argentina and you're a young child.
Ah, goodness gracious.
Yes,
You're
so
welcome.
that'll be happening. As we have reminded people before, if you're going to come with a question, please don't make it 5 parts. Please
Oh
don't
my God,
make
I
it
wanna
like
ask
5
a
minutes
question.
long. I will kick you out of the panel.
I
will.
want to ask a question. I want to skip the line. I'll pay.
No, you
people,
won't.
skip
I'm
the
gonna
line.
fuck. I'm getting rid of
I'm
you.
gonna
I'll
be
have
like,
security
"Excuse me,
escort you out.
optional podcast panel. I have 6 questions for.
Here is my
each of
life
you,
story to
and
preface
then I
this.
have
However,
one
no
question for the
no.
entire panel.
Crendor,
So,
Crendor,
One question,
I
please.
grew up in a
Just
small
one.
town in Missouri.
Crendor, the only way I'll allow you to do that, dress in steampunk cosplay while you do it. You need to be in a steampunk outfit, get up there, ask us 5 questions, then we're good.
Yeah, please
Long-time
do
listener,
not.
first-time caller.
Yeah, we should also again remind people, if you plan on bringing your kid to the panel, probably don't do that thing, because
Yes,
we
definitely
swear a
do.
lot.
Bring your kid and
No.
have him ask the questions for you.
No,
if you have
we
questions,
we
have
swear
your
a lot.
child ask
We
the
talk
question.
about dicks and sex
do.
and you know, sexy
Your
things.
child most likely has a dick. Bring
Dicks,
him.
Sex, sexy
Bring him.
dicks.
Sexy dicks.
Child will
That-
eventually have sex. They might as well learn about it from us. We're like adults. Bring your
We're
kids.
like adults.
We're kind of comparable.
Bring your kids. Bring the family. Bring your parents.
Okay.
Bring mom and dad.
Bring them all.
We're
Yeah.
leaving.
Stay
We're
outside.
fucking leaving.
Leave it.
Have them
Goodbye.
cry.
We're all going to PAX. That means we're not doing anything for like the rest of the week. We're going to PAX. Watch our panel. And that's about buy my
Alright, that's
goddamn
it.
shirts. tinyurl.com/banepool. 420 sale tomorrow, 10%
They're all
off.
so beautiful.
Buy our plushie.
YouTube.com/WoWCrendor. Non-content
beautiful.
from PAX East. Going up there. Twitch.tv/Crendor. Great stream. Go to the Cox and Crendor panel. The best panels here ever.